Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
Oh, it smells.
No, we don't do that. We're
I don't
radio
smell.
professionals.
No, what are you talking about?
We're radio
professionals.
He was made in the lab, but we're radio professionals.
We're radio
I am-
professionals.
Are we recording?
Yeah,
Made in a lab. Gilles de Rais.
It's actually Gille.
Well,
We have to
no,
do a whole-
I get it all over
no.
the place.
Oh, no.
I get it all
Wait,
over
we got
the
the
place.
name wrong?
Because then I heard that not only is it not Gilles, it is Gilles, but actually Gilles. I've heard that you're supposed to add the S too.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
They'll
no,
say
guys.
whatever they want.
That doesn't make any sense that you would add the S, because every other fucking French pronunciation thing that I've been told has been
Okay.
totally and completely wrong. That's
What
not,
did-
it's like, oh yeah, Gilles. What's that supposed to be? Oh, G.
Gilles.
Gilles.
It's Gilles, technically. But
Yeah,
what did,
Gilles.
what did the
Gilles.
hottest woman that you guys researched say it as?
Gilles.
Gilles it is. Okay, so we're going as Gilles de Rais.
I keep
That's
it
the
as
metric.
Gilles.
Yeah.
I mean, but I really wanted to introduce the audience to the fact that right before we began, Marcus dared to say
Wow.
that the microphone cover, me, Henry Zabrowski,
Yeah.
made in a lab to be a
You're really taking
professional.
that AI-created men's health article seriously.
All of my memories are not real. They were put inside of my brain by the guy that is the nutritionist for Will Smith.
Oh, I can't wait for Universal Soldier 3 podcaster.
Podcaster that's just a man born in a rolly chair. You said that my microphone cover stank.
Your microphone
It
cover, it stank.
And then you dare to say, because I'm a fervent performer, I am the Billy Mays of this show. And then you're saying it is because of my performance style.
It's the spit. It's
It's
just
the
the
spit.
spit. It stays on there.
It's the incredible amount of spit that both you and Holden McNeely produce when you perform on a podcast.
Live
because
performers.
You're both you're our theater performers.
Right.
You ain't spitting, you ain't acting.
The spit guard that Holden McNeely
don't
uses,
know.
I had to use it the other day. I accidentally sniffed it and I gagged.
he gagged.
How do you think his fucking wife feels?
Well, we don't
How do you
want to
think
talk
his
about
child
that.
feels?
Welcome to the last podcast. On the left, everyone, Ben hanging out with Marcus, and of course, Henry. I am really excited to get to this episode. I think there's going to be a lot of blood.
The child murder, that's what you're excited for?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm excited to learn more about world history.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting? And Marcus, I hope you tie it back a little bit to America, because I heard some theories being kicked around in the kitchen last night.
Marcus has his own version of a red-eyed 3 a.m. deep rabbit hole.
I love
I think it's very good.
Man, if you just think about it for a second.
Just put your perspective goggles on for a second. All right.
Whoa, that's a weird goggle.
Yeah, I fucking see it now, bro.
All right, Gilles de Rais, part 2.
All right, so we're going
Part two.
So we're going
We're going with the most beautiful woman pronounced it as, because that's our best chance. When you meet a beautiful woman, we assume they all talk with each other, and they all go by Gilles.
All right.
Also, I think Gilles is, if you're a lady,
Gilles.
oh, I'm gonna have a date with Gilles.
Gilles is
As
coming
opposed
over
to
tonight.
Gilles, who sounds like he should be, I don't know, fluffing your underwear or
But
something.
it does sound like, unfortunately, for some reason, Gilles cut our date off tonight because he wanted to meet my daughter.
Oh, my goodness. Let's get on with it.
So when we last left Gilles de Rais, he and Joan of Arc were on their way to the French city of Orleans to free it from the hated English in one of the pivotal battles in the third phase of the 100 Years' War.
And I was thinking about this earlier. This series will probably the end be close to 9.5 hours long, spread out over several periods.
Yeah.
So this entire series is very similar to the 100 Years' War.
Which was, of course,
116 years over 3 distinct periods. And I won't ever let anyone ever once forget that.
very good.
And for the first part of this episode, Gilles de Rais will seemingly be somewhat of a footnote of history. But as we shall see, Gilles is a far larger part of the pie than what he's made out to be by certain biographers.
Interesting.
Wow, shade.
Put another way, it is absolutely fascinating to see such an evil human being such as Gilles de Rais playing sidecar to one of the most revered people in history. It's like if John Wayne Gacy had been JFK's chief of staff.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because this episode, as we get to the latter half of this episode, is the John Wayne Gacy portion of Gilles de Rais' life. This
Okay.
is how we compare him, because we've been covering him a little bit. You know, last time we called him Ted Bundy meets Harvey Weinstein meets Jared Fogle.
Ooh.
So this is like, he's somewhere between it. This is the Jared Fogle sandwich lord
Okay.
like time period where, because what are you going to do with all that sandwich money?
Absolutely. You've got to do something with it, like destroy your entire lives and the lives of people around you.
Yes.
Yeah. But concerning the Battle of Orleans, French commanders believed that French forces were going to arrive at Orleans for a long siege because the English were well fortified and had no reason to come out and fight. The idea of a siege, however, did not please Joan of Arc. As we're about to see, Joan was a woman of action, for better or for worse, during her short time as a commander in the French army, and that quality would both contribute to her fame and lead to her demise.
Do you think that Greta Thunberg might be more hear me out on this?
Yeah,
she
sure.
might be more effective if she had weaponry.
I mean, I think that
She
would
had
probably
weaponry.
help. I could see her with a big ass sword with a gun. I think if she came to America and acclimated to our gun culture, she would be the number one spokesperson for the NRA. Her and Dana Loesch in like a month.
This is what to do, right? Combine, all right? Get controversial. Start of the show, right? Combine love of guns for love of the planet Earth. So we say, we fight pollution with these bullets in a way by taking over various, giant corporate buildings. Greta Thunberg with a pack of her Twitter people who arrive, right?
Right.
In this January 6th
You say
style.
this like it hasn't happened
Yeah,
already.
you're saying this like Ted Kaczynski didn't exist.
Well, but he didn't really
So
crush
Ted
it.
Kaczynski apologist,
land
Henry
it. He
Zebrowski.
didn't land it.
If I'm Randy Kraft's
He
number
has
one
his
fan,
revenge.
if I'm Randy Kraft's number one fan, you are Ted Kaczynski's number one fan as well.
I'm Ted Kaczynski's. Honestly, I wish I was Ted Kaczynski's editor because he needed someone needed to come in with a red pen.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Joan, she figured that when she arrived to Orleans, her men were well fed and morale was high. So what better time to attack than immediately while God was still on everyone's side?
God's here now, man.
Sweet, but God will flip at any moment.
Any moment.
He will. That's why you got to act now.
Absolutely.
The problem was that the Loire River was too low. Therefore, the French army couldn't send barges full of heavily armored men across. But miraculously, as it would happen often with Joan of Arc, as it's put down in historical record, the wind changed and the water level rose, making the crossing not only possible, but almost incontestable because of the seemingly divine circumstance.
And isn't that something that meteorology has taken away from us? Because now we're like, weather patterns, cyclone, bomb, cyclone coming. But before it was just like, that's an act of fucking God.
Yeah, and
Like, that's so much more fun.
but Jeanne de Poussey, as she's known as well, she
Wow.
had a lot of weird, mysterious circumstances, which you'll go play on later on in life when they did the entire fabrication of making her a saint, what all of the lies that everyone had to say to the church to make her a saint. But that was because everyone was mad to her. We'll see what happens to her in this episode.
I mean, also, weather does change.
Yeah.
So
Weather
just
does change.
A bit of luck can change a lot of fortune.
It really can. And Joan had a lot of luck a lot of the time.
Okay.
But she entered Orleans to meet an excited populace, while Gilles de Rais returned to the city of Blois for more supplies. Now,
Yeah, more croissants. And you gotta get foie gras. They gotta get a couple of house wines. And then you gotta stop smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to do. Running errands in France is a long process.
I love a good house wine.
Now, Joan's reputation had preceded her, and when she entered the city, people lost their minds because this was pretty much as close as they were ever going to get to meeting an angel on earth.
Wow.
This, however, was only in the outer ring of the city, as the English fortifications were deeper in.
Sure, yeah, always.
So, well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, the English fortifications are always real deep.
Oh, absolutely.
So, while the more experienced commanders had taken Joan's lead in at least entering Orleans, they refused to attack the English fortifications until Gilles de Rais returned with supplies. And so Joan toured the English battlements and called on them to surrender to her and God.
She just roasted them.
Yeah.
Yes, so she just went on like a mini tour?
Yeah, well, touring the battlements means she walked around and she said, fuck yeah, come out! Come out! God is here! God is here! God's sword shall strike you down!
Sweet.
My hymen's the strongest hymen in Europe.
Strongest hymen of all time. Her hymen was so strong it broke the horse's back.
Who's made in a lab?
Oh, made in the lab.
What do you think the English said back?
I think some of the peasants who were suffering from the English oligarchs were very happy to see her, but then I would assume some of the more successful folks were quite scared she was going to destabilize the entire regime.
No, they did it the old-fashioned English way by calling her a whore.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Bitch. They called it that a lot. Cowgirl was what they called her.
Okay.
A lot, which I would imagine it's a pejorative depending on which, where the emphasis is.
It's probably saying because you're like a peasant and you know, that style of thing. But now we know cowgirls. I mean, that's how I get onto the airplane first, because as you guys know, I suffer from little cowgirl syndrome, and it actually takes me a long time to get down the aisle, because every time I go, howdy, mister. Howdy, mister.
Yeah, of course.
Howdy, mister. And it takes me fucking 45 minutes.
I know.
That's why I get on the plane ahead of soldiers.
You always get to pre-board.
That's right. But even so, Joan kept touring the battlements day after day, waiting for Gilles to return, absorbing the misogynistic insults from the English. On the fifth day, though, Joan said that the quote-unquote voices told her that it was time to attack the English somewhere in Orleans, anywhere, just so long as she attacked.
Okay.
Supposedly, at that moment, Joan saw the smoke and heard the sounds of a medieval battle elsewhere in the city. Whoa. So she rode out to get her first taste of true hand-to-hand combat. This is the first time she's ever in battle.
She just jumps in. I mean, I'll give her that credit for all of the lack of planning and kind of the impulsive nature of her work, and maybe some would say like lack of foresight. She just would jump right fucking in front of everybody else, and she was, I think, 16, 17 years old.
16, 17, about 5'1", 5'2", but that was average at the time.
She's nuts, man.
It's a great message. Reminds me of Molly Shannon in Superstar. You got to put your hands under your armpits and jump right in the deep end.
Yeah.
Fantastic film.
I mean, one day it'll receive its due.
Yeah.
Well, when Joan got there, she found that the fight had been started by some very enthusiastic French citizens who'd been inspired to take matters into their own hands.
Because that's the hold, and then, some guy's like, back it! And he just throws a pot in that like a dude, and all of a sudden he starts World War III.
Yeah.
That could happen.
But since Joan rode out with no plan whatsoever, she soon found herself trapped between two fires, facing certain death. But at that moment, who should ride out to Saint-Lô, fresh from returning with supplies, but Gilles de Rais and friends?
Mon ami, I have brought bread!
Wow, he's got some friends with him. Very cool, like Thundercats.
Yeah, he paid a lot of those friends to hang around. You'd be surprised how much of these entourages you see on television are actually sponsored by capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, though. Even if you're paying them, then they're actually better friends than if you're not paying them.
That's true, because then they have a reason to stay.
Absolutely.
But then their loyalty is always dependent on how much you're paying them.
Just don't lose any money. Don't lose your money.
That's the key.
That's the key, of course. Now, Joan didn't like directly shedding blood herself, but the sight of her banners and her white armor pushed the French forces onward to take the Bastille of Saint-Lô.
They did
Nice.
Likewise, the English were superstitious enough where just the sight of Joan in her finest in the midst of battle was enough to throw them off their game.
It's what Dan Carlin calls the X Factor.
Wow.
The X Factor.
I love that show.
The X Factor. And so, after scaling the walls and fighting man-to-man with sword, axe, mace, and war hammer, the French killed...
It's my favorite, dude.
Yeah, the war hammer?
Yeah. I'm playing Skyrim right now, and I'm using that hammer, man.
The Warhammer? Yeah.
The French killed 140 Englishmen. They captured 40 more, and they set the fortifications on fire.
On fire!
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I also really like an aggressive defensive weapon, like a sharp sword or something like that. Or, I mean, a sharp shield.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I like also...
Hit him with that.
I prefer, like, things that are attached also to armaments and to holds. Like, the idea of, like, big boiling pots of oil.
Oh, fantastic.
I think that's really fucking cool. Throwing burning barrels of Donkey Kong style defense.
I agree.
Is what I prefer. That's what I do at my home.
Yeah.
That's what the burglars need to know. If you come for me, I plan to literally spray you with the sticky like goop to keep you pinned to things and pin you down.
And what's so nice is all that oil can later be used for your deep frying.
It's nice.
Yes.
I'm a halberd type guy. I like a real good halberd because you can
What's
do
a halberd?
A halberd is
lance-like weapon.
Yeah, it's like a lance-like weapon. It's got a big blade on the end of it.
Love it.
You can use it a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different strategies you can use with a halberd.
You get some distance.
Yeah.
You can use
it.
Stick. The stick too. You can hit your buddy with it too.
Yeah. Hit him in the crotch.
And
hit him in the balls.
Your dick.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you can still use it as a really long axe.
Cool. Yeah. Whatever happened to that show that talked about weapons? Anyway, let's move on.
The guy from I know what you're talking about.
There was a show that
George Lee Ermey.
It was great.
Yeah, it was.
It was really interesting.
Well, in other words,
all right.
Joan of Arc's first battle was indeed a massive victory, but it had come with a big assist from Gilles de Rais. And this would not even be close to the last time that Gilles de Rais would save Joan of Arc's life. And that's what's interesting about his place in history.
Okay, here it begins.
Is this it?
Yeah.
This begins. Yeah. This is, we're just going to go with Marcus on this. I do think it is interesting. It's compelling.
Compelling, yeah.
You can't spell revisionary history without visionary.
See, de Rais biographers swear up and down that there is documentation to back up the claim that de Rais was Joan's savior during her more rash combat decisions, especially in her early battles. But reading accounts from the perspective of Joan of Arc biographers, Gilles is nowhere to be found.
Maybe because he was one of the world's biggest child molesters and child murderers, and then you get attached to her shit, and the people are like, well, people like her. Jean de Bustel. Yeah, they like her, and this can affect her testing.
Yes.
Gotcha.
In both biographies, they share people like Jean de Dunois, but Gilles is wiped from Joan's history altogether.
Living a whippity wipe.
That's not right, though. It's inaccurate history.
Well, that to me is extremely interesting, because had it not been for Gilles de Rais, Joan of Arc would have likely been killed in her first battle, which would have had massive ramifications on the course of world history. See, if Joan of Arc had been killed in that first battle, she would not have been seen as a hero. No. Rather, she would have been seen as a massively stupid misstep on the part of Dauphin Charles VII.
Absolutely. He sent a 16-year-old girl to be killed in war.
She said she was talking to angels. Well, now she's really talking to angels because I put a fucking pike in her head.
Explain that.
Yeah, Charles was fighting not only the English and the Burgundians, but he was also fighting for the very right to be crowned king. He was hanging on by a thread. Then he just hands over a section of his army to a religious teenage weirdo who just kind of showed up. And without Gilles de Rais, that weirdo would have gotten killed immediately.
And of course, with the Burgundians, a very easy group to kill, they were only wearing corduroy.
What does that have to do? Why
does that slow you down?
Because you can stab right through corduroy. It's not very protective.
But what about Burgundy makes you think
they're the Burgundians. They wear corduroy.
I mean, when I think of corduroy, actually, burgundy is usually the color of corduroy. I don't know why that's true, but it is.
Mustard.
It is.
Green.
I'm just saying oh my God.
A standard denim corduroy does exist.
The Burgundians are coming. Don't worry. They're walking the wrong way. The Burgundians? I'm just not scared of the Burgundians.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Well, had that happened, had Joan of Arc been killed in that first battle, then it's likely that Joan of Arc would have been seen in the historical record as not a masterstroke of strategy, but as a capricious decision of decadence on the part of an illegitimate ruler. Charles VII probably would have thereafter been deposed, and since Joan of Arc's presence was the turning point in the 100 Years' War, France would have probably fallen under the rule of the English. Had France become basically English territory, or at least English allies, then 300 years later, there would have been nobody to bail out the Americans during the Revolution of 1776, because without French assistance, we would not have won. Therefore, it is my contention that without Gilles de Rais, the United States of America would not exist.
Wow.
Land where my fathers died. Land of the Pilgrim's Pride. None of that.
None of that.
No Super Bowl.
No Super Bowl.
No fried chicken.
Oh my God.
No Yaz. There would be no, what else America bring?
Everything.
No mother of all bombs.
Music.
No giant space-bound surveillance system that's keeping us all in play.
Well, at best, the United States would have instead been born of a second go at revolution in 1884.
Interesting.
There, the point of contention would not have been taxation without representation, but rather the legality of slavery in British colonies.
Starting to think he was made in a lab.
I'm starting to think he might have
He was
been
the lab guy.
But this is interesting because I'm certain.
Actually, it's
obviously,
not 1884, it's 1834. Excuse me.
I mean,
1834.
we were just about to get the emails. We just avoided.
I know. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It would make sense for it to be 1884 because that would have been long after the American Civil War, and the British, of course, abolished slavery
Very good.
many years before America did.
Well,
Okay.
I'm certain that because what do I know about history topics? There are people that have,
Fucking lay it on me, bro.
They have a sort of how do you put it? Almost how do you put this gently? An irrational attachment to things that have happened thousands of years ago.
It's
In a very long time of history, but
hundreds of years ago.
But it's like the way they view it, right? Is that sometimes historians they're caught in their little time period, right? Because a lot of times they dress like it.
Yeah.
They're completely
lot of
isolated
times,
themselves
yeah.
in
A
modern
lot of
times.
A lot of times. A lot of the French historians I've seen, they dress like it's, 1543.
They always do.
A lot of them do.
jodkins, big hats with feathers in them.
Jerkins.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. But I'm certain there's no way your alternative history take is going to rile any of those guys up. There's no way you're going to get the musket heads out in full force.
Guess what? I don't read social media or emails, so I'm not going to hear about
He
it.
doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
Isn't
but no,
that fantastic?
but I think that's very interesting. It's just more showing that his position in history is fucking wild.
Huge.
Like this guy was like a part of Gilles de Rais was one, as you put, one of the most famous human beings on the face of in history.
He wouldn't be the first child murderer to save this fine republic of ours. No, not the first. The list is quite long. Okay.
Well, I do appreciate everyone's indulgence and my interest in alternative history.
We were forced to be here.
Thank you for your indulgence, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, I think it's fascinating.
What if we just fought you and screamed like, no, no? It's the opposite of comedy.
Yeah. Let's get back to Gilles de Rais and Joan of Arc at the siege of Orleans.
Whoa, it's like we never left.
So on the day of Joan's first victory, she sent a letter to the English shot on the end of an arrow, telling them to again surrender.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Of course, all they replied with was another unimaginative hurl of the word whore. Now, perhaps...
Did they really... What was the word? Was it whore?
Whore, yeah.
It's
whore.
been around that long?
Yeah, whore's been around
Yeah,
for a
well,
long
no, that
time.
word, it would be the word for it, would be like, le braudillo.
No, it's the English saying it to her.
So they just said the word whore.
Yeah, but they just didn't have a W on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so you think that they're stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean,
Gotcha.
but actually they're hurling insults.
Yeah.
Really good.
Now, perhaps because they were yucking her yum on the day of her first victory, or because what are you saying? Where are you getting? I learned that from you.
Just a group of people screaming whore at you. That meaning it's yucking your yum.
You're yucking
It's
my
very
yum.
funny.
But this is after she won the battle, right?
It's her first battle, her first victory.
Yeah,
this
just be
is
like, guys, not now, guys.
Yeah.
No,
Please.
this is a compliment. You don't want your enemy to be happy with you. This is awesome. They're upset. They're riled.
Yeah.
Who cares if they're calling her a whore? You just beat the fuck out of them.
Well, also, it might also be because she's a fucking 16-year-old who just survived a medieval hand-to-hand battle, almost died. She broke down in tears. I mean, it got to her just a little bit.
Which just also, in that way, like, it humanized her to even her own people. She was very beloved.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, and the only reason why I mentioned that is because she was sort of out of the picture for a little bit, dealing with her bullshit. A commander, well, not bullshit, but dealing with her own thing.
Emotions. No, believe me, I have said the word bullshit, referring to my emotions in therapy.
As have I.
To the point where my therapist did say this last time, being like, well, you don't like to sort of meet your emotions. You don't like to enjoy it. And I was like, fuck you.
Right.
Oh, I don't. I fucking don't.
Yeah. No. But when I say bullshit, it's not a pejorative for someone else's emotions. It's just how I refer to my own, and it spills over sometimes.
It does.
Fantastic.
But because of Joan's breakdown, a commander named Dunois and Gilles de Rais had a meeting without Joan in which it was decided to pause the attacks and fortify their positions. But even though those decisions were made, Joan had the bad habit of saying, fuck the commanders, I'm gonna do what I want.
Okay.
Zendaya.
That's your only reference of anyone under the age of 30.
Well, Sydney Sweeney, but that's because of her boobs, and
Who's
she's
that?
young. She was in that Euphoria show, but she's very, she's got boobs.
Is she over the age? She's over 18.
She's over 18.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Okay. Well, the next day,
That's the only other one I know.
Great.
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Yes. Good.
Well, the next day, Joan crossed back over the river Loire with her men to attack the English in the town of Les Augustins.
So she just one day licked her wounds and then went on to another battle.
Yeah.
Wow.
The English safely returned to their fortifications and Joan's army began to falter. But once again, Joan was saved by Gilles de Rais, who helped her take Les Augustins while killing a hell of a lot of English.
And he loved it.
Yes.
He loved it.
Every moment. But while it might seem like Gilles would have become annoyed about having to save Joan again and again, he kind of loved her spirit because he was also reckless and he was also impulsive. And it seemed like wherever Joan went, the bloodshed that Gilles so craved always seemed to follow.
He very much liked the fact that she just wanted to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't fuck anything up herself,
No.
she was very good at whipping up others to fuck things up for her.
Gotcha.
But the other thing about Gilles and Joan is that I think he was just as swept up in Joan's magical aura as everyone else, but not in the same way. See, he saw that she had seemingly divine powers of foresight and inspiration, which fed into Gilles' belief in God. This, however, would later translate into practices that would have horrified Joan of Arc.
Or at least I'd hope so.
Yes. Instead
Yeah.
of seeing that God is real, therefore I must obey his rules, Gilles reasoned that if God was real, so was Satan.
Satan.
And if God could help Joan, then Satan could help Gilles.
He always does.
Ooh, isn't
He always
that nice?
does.
Well, not really. Sometimes it leads to horrible YouTube videos, bad clothing, bad lifestyle choices, and overall loneliness.
Satanism? It's true. No, it's true. But I also think that because later on, his magical proclivities will also speak to the fact that he does something in here cemented
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
all this shit's real.
Yes.
Because you also see it come up again in his trial, because one of the main bones of contention in his trial was how quickly he turned on like he went from saying I'm innocent to confessing, which is that a seemed to be a late in life obsession with his fate of his soul.
Yeah.
In the eyes of God might have changed things as well, because it might harken back to, oh fuck, that's right. Now one time God was real.
Right. Okay.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Summer means freedom. And for adults, summer means work next to freedom. But thanks to Mint Mobile's summer sale, it can almost feel like the work is playtime for the adults. Right now, all of Mint's plans are $15 per month, even unlimited. Free yourself from big wireless and switch to Mint Mobile for high-speed data and coverage on the T-Mobile 5G network. It's so well connected, I could call from anywhere. Deep from well within my bunker, where my AI-fueled robots slowly but surely toil for me, but I know for a fact I'm saving money on my phone plan. Or up above, where I'm training all of my giant Amazon female warriors who will fight in bulletproof mesh. Also, honestly, Mint Mobile's really cheap and it's really reliable, so you should use it. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 per 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabyte hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
Now, on May 7th, the day after Gilles and Joan took Les Augustins, Jones'
An
luck-
island only occupied by ducks.
An island only. Jones' luck.
See, I mean, it makes sense if it was called like Quackerton.
Sounds
or
like Quackerton to me.
Webby Town.
Sounds like Quackerton to me.
Well, Augustine.
Augustine.
That sounds like a duck
Quack,
island to you.
quack. Oh my God, we must be close.
You're just making bird noises. You can't just make bird noises.
Yeah, but it's but it would be an island of gooses.
He's
right?
already done the
Geese.
goose.
No, I've already done the goose. Yeah. And hong hong.
Well, anyway, that's where Jones' luck hit a bump in the road. She was shot with an arrow in the shoulder while trying to place a ladder against English fortification walls at Les Tourelles. But she was caught and removed from battle by, again, Gilles de Rais.
Yeah,
That's all real?
That is, well, according to Gilles de Rais' people. So what we know about all of these things, right? Like most of the reason why we know so much about these people's lives are because of the trials that both went through. Joan of Arc's trial was it was long.
6 months.
It was a lot of shit, and it was heavily documented. Same thing with Gilles de Rais' trial. So, and you're basically listening to their people's version of these stories, and then historians are trying to kind of all triangulate where do they all touch tips, right? Where do they all like come together as one? And it seems that more people agreed than not that Gilles de Rais was always like wherever Joan of Arc, Gilles de Rais was like right there working as well.
That's awesome. All right. Very cool.
Well, her wounds were dressed with lard and olive oil. Then both of them returned to battle.
That's how you know she's French.
Yeah.
They made a recipe to fucking cure her bullshit.
Yeah, that's like the put some tussin on it.
Put some tussin on it, yeah.
Put some lard on it.
Yeah. There, Joan led the French forces through the English defenses. Whilst fighting in a vineyard, Joan called out, quote,
"Watch and see when the tip of my standard touches the English defenses."
Soon she heard a man call out,
Joan, the tip is touching.
Whoa.
and with the call that the tip had touched, Joan commanded her men.
Everyone jump. Everyone do the Harlem Shake.
No, she commanded them to enter the fort.
Whoa, the tips have touched. Now it's time to enter the fort.
And in a burst of energy, both the army and the French townspeople overwhelmed the English. The defeated English forces then tried retreating across the bridge, but were thwarted when a flaming barge floated by a fisherman collapsed the structure, drowning most of the 400-some-odd Englishmen dressed in full armor.
This is like my type of asymmetrical warfare. Yeah. I love that type of shit. Where it's just like you turn an everyday object into something that's like highly fucking chaotic.
Yeah.
And everybody freaks out.
Sure. Were you at the Boston Marathon by any chance?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was watching from a building with binoculars.
Oh, straight. Are you allowed to buy crackpots?
By the next day, the English began leaving the city and tearing down their encampments. And on May 8th, the French had successfully retaken Orleans from the English using the inspiration of Joan of Arc and her number one guy, Gilles de Rais.
That's great.
Number one, a guy.
Oh.
I love the way you're touching me. I love it.
I'd say more of a supporting act. He was her supporting act the entire time.
Sure.
Yeah,
Well,
he was
he's,
the fucking muscle.
Yeah.
He's the Sam to her Frodo.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, that's cool. That's close.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That does kind of work.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah,
If
with-
you can't carry it, I'll carry you.
Now,
Share the load.
And then they did.
Yeah, they did. The deleted scenes.
But once Orleans was taken, it became obvious that the French had a problem. Joan and Gilles had become quite close, but both of them were anti-authoritarian, albeit with different motivations. Joan believed herself answerable only to God, while Gilles was answerable only to his own desires.
And now we have that all together on the Supreme Court.
Yeah. But even so, Gilles was an obviously talented commander and warrior, so he was appointed the position of Marshal of France.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the marshals of France are very fancy.
Oh, you want to be the I want to be, that means I was going to make a joke about how it's a name.
That's what I was trying to. I actually was I'm kind of disappointed.
No, both of
That
us
you
totally.
didn't. I started it. I thought that you were going to say something
Pick it up,
about.
yeah. That's a double whiff there.
That's a double whiff. It doesn't sound like we were made in a lab at all, does it?
All this is going to be cut. We're just going to have to lift every single bit of this evidence that we are human.
I've listened to episodes, and it seems every time you say that, it stays in. Yeah. It's almost like Way to
We're being
embarrass them.
sabotaged?
Yeah,
Sure. No, but again, I appreciate the calls coming from inside the house.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Well, the Marshal of France, this position, it not only gave Gilles higher pay and privileges, but it made him an officer of the crown. In other words, Gilles de Rais was even more powerful and even more shielded by the establishment than he'd ever been.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's with the number one. He's next to the number one that it's becoming the most important force in French politics and in world endeavors. So you wonder why, in the end, when they went to go immediately, what do they call? I think they call it rehabilitate Joan of Arc after her trial. And they kind of left Gilles de Rais out for some reason.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they decided that maybe there was something about him that nobody really liked.
Yeah, it wouldn't help her reputation, I suppose.
Not at all. But of course, Gilles de Rais, he is the Marshal of France. You kind of putting him in a corner. You know what to do with Gilles de Rais.
Yeah.
But no one knew what the fuck to do with Joan of Arc.
Oh, yeah, man. Technically, this is a bad comparison. But the idea of having somebody that you think that you can control in a position of power, like with Adolf Hitler, right? When they set him up, they thought originally, oh, this is a guy we can direct around.
Yeah.
But then he became a fucking maniac and he took over the entire inside of the destruction. We're like,
what was the era where he wasn't a maniac? Can you tell us, when do you think Hitler was onto something good?
No, I'm just saying that it's the concept of they don't know what to do with this person.
Joan of Arc is the Hitler of France.
No, she's the.
I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying exactly.
I'm playing gotcha journalism.
Yeah, I know, and it's everywhere. All eyes are on me. I'm sorry for everything. But Joan of Arc, again, you're like, you can't put her in charge because we all can't control her because she goes off into a closet. And
Unpredictable.
Absolutely. Totally get it, though.
Yeah. See, where Charles VII was concerned, Joan, to use a Southern term, she's getting a little too big for her britches.
Okay.
But even so, as per Joan's visions, Charles VII was crowned King of France about 2 months after the French retook Orleans in a ceremony that took 7 hours.
Kill me.
Oh, God.
Consequently,
and covered all that stinky ass oil.
Must have been horrible.
Consequently, Charles VII negotiated a 15-day truce with the English and the English's French allies, the Burgundians.
Oh, yeah, you can hear them coming from a mile away. Burgundians, here we go, Burgundians. We're the Burgundians, and there we go. That's the whole song, because we're dumb.
There's a guy writing an email with a quill right now that is furious.
Yeah, the Burgundians were so powerful.
Someone scan this memoriam. Oh, it's the city of America. And they're like, you are in America, Jeff. Is Jeff?
The
My name is Jeff.
The Burgundians had their testicles above their penises, as a matter of fact. Not a lot of people understood why.
Someone go and get my inkwell.
Yes.
I must put another strong dissentorian message out to these rebellions.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Their buttholes were actually where their taint is, and their taints is where their buttholes were.
Bring me my taller hat that gives me confidence.
Yeah, Burgundians.
Now, this seriously pissed off Joan, because while she certainly wanted the English out of France, she hated the Burgundians even more.
I believe it.
She'd held a grudge against the Burgundians since childhood because they sided with the English. Now, as far as how the Burgundians got mixed up with the English, this is basically another Game of Thrones subplot. The Burgundian story is fucking incredible.
It's cool. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, the conflict with the Burgundians was somewhat the thrust of the third phase of the 100 Years' War, in which both Joan of Arc and Gilles de Rais gained their notoriety. See, back in 1407, about 20 years before about 20 years before the crowning of Charles VII, the King Regent, Louis I, was murdered in the streets of Paris by 15 masked criminals on the orders of a man named John the Fearless. A King Regent, by the way, is the man who acts as the king when the actual king is too young, too sick, or too mentally ill to do so.
Okay,
so he's the hand of the hand of the throne, or they call it hand of the king?
No.
He's a, what would you call that?
I'm just trying to reach you.
No, I know, I get that. No. In the Game of Thrones world, there were king regents, actually. It's when, not the hand of the king regent acts in the king's stead.
He's the babysitter of the throne. He babysits the throne when the king's gone.
Basically, until the king can become of age and can make decisions on his own. When you say, when you had that 9-year-old King Henry.
Oh, yeah. They had to have a guy come in and he's the one who's acting. But still, every once in a while, that 9-year-old's like, kill them all. And they're like, all right.
You still got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, John the Fearless was the son of the Duke of Burgundy, he of the Burgundians. The Duke of Burgundy was named Philip the Bold, and he was angry that royal funds were being spent on Louis I's decadent lifestyle instead of the expansion of French territory. Okay. Understandable.
Makes sense.
Louis I was acting as king regent because at the time, King Charles VI, Charles VII's father, he was severely schizophrenic. Oh. He believed that he was made of glass and he was often unable to remember his name, his wife, or even the fact that he was king.
I mean,
Jesus.
It is interesting because, yes, obviously he was very ill, but then also Joan of Arc said she was talking to actual full-formed angels.
Yeah, but at least
they just gave her an army.
But she could still say, "Hi, my name is Joan."
Yeah.
Be like,
actually, je ne puis sais.
I mean, what a day at the kingdom. Be like, oh, no, the king, he thinks he's glass again today. So
oh, well.
Don't put him near windows. He could start a fire. Give him the power of the sun when it hits glass.
Do you have any cleaner? Because he says he smudged.
We need the Windex. He wants to bathe in Windex once again. Please.
Louis I, meanwhile, he had been appointed king regent in Charles VI's stead because Louis I was having a sexual affair with the queen.
Whoa. That must... Wait, what?
It's a lot. Again, these are very... You have to see the chart, the family charts.
Okay, got you.
No. Louis I was fucking the queen.
But I thought that was the king. That's not the king.
He was fucking the queen.
Who's the king?
The king is Charles VI.
The king.
The king is Charles VI.
You know, these were those episodes where it's just like I just see Kissel's English teacher each night going home and putting the gun in her mouth, just being like, "This is not the night."
Okay,
I wish it was.
Stick with me for the stick with me here for a second. Charles VI is the king.
Okay. He thinks he's glass.
He thinks he's
glass.
Glass king.
He cannot fulfill the duties of the king.
But he is legally the king, and they can't do anything about it.
He is legally the king. Therefore, his wife, the queen, must appoint someone to act as the king regent.
And then she fucks that guy.
No, she appoints the guy she is fucking.
Yes.
There is a man.
Well, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
But now that guy is also a king, so that's actually not even cheating.
New stepdad Louis is now the king, but in action only. Like he just shows up
in
with
action
the sash
only.
on. Yeah.
But the thing is that this seemed like no one could really figure out what other reason there could be for Louis I being the king regent, because Louis I was quite unpopular due to something called the Belle des Ardennes.
Now, this is a very funny story. This is back in the day when political gaffes were like more serious. You'll see.
Let's go a little bit further back to 1393.
Oh my God, how far are we going to go back?
Just keep going back. Don't just
Lord.
He said something about the heat beginning of the universe. There's a beginning somewhere in there.
Oh, man.
Well, before Charles VI was incapacitated, a masquerade ball was thrown in which the king and 5 nobles performed a dance wearing costumes made of linen and soaked in resin.
Just reminds me of fucking when we used to go to the Adult Swim upfronts and you find out they paid Kanye West fucking $2 million to yell at us for 40 minutes. And you're just like, this is what we're spending the money on? Resin costumes?
We did watch Drake. He did good.
He was great.
Yeah, he was
surprisingly good.
Well, these costumes depicting the nobles as wood savages made them appear shaggy, but it also made them highly flammable. As such, there were strict orders against the lighting of hall torches and strict orders against anyone entering the room with a torch. The idea behind the whole event was to have the audience guess the identities of the wood savages.
The Masked Singer.
Yes.
Do you remember the blind restaurant?
Yes, I do remember that all the lights
all
were
in
off.
the dark, but then it was all the guys were the people who served you were blind, so they could see, but but you can't, and you don't know what you're eating.
And then one person takes off their masks, and it's Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani.
Remember that when he was on the Masked Singer?
Oh, I remember
that.
But this is a time period where, because who showed this? It was Barry Lyndon. It really is beautiful film. Boring as all fucking God, it's fucking boring. Yeah. But it's a beautiful film that really illustrates what we've talked about a little bit in the past, where it's like, think about medieval times is that, you got torches inside and stuff to light. But those torches create like smoke and like all this stuff. It's gross in there. And so like a lot of the times when it was nighttime, it was dark wherever the fuck you were. It was dark as fuck like you were, and it was difficult to see.
Yeah. I wonder if the human eyes adjusted a little bit. I wonder if the human eye adjusted a little bit back then. Do you think they could see better in the dark if it was dark every night?
I can see better in the dark all the time.
You can see better.
I see great in the dark.
You can see better in the dark than you can in the light, you think?
No, but I can still see great in the dark. I got really good nighttime. I got really good nighttime vision.
Why are you doing that? Why you purposely get better at nighttime vision?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Someone's like-
purposely get better at nighttime vision.
Maybe that was something they gave him in the lab.
Is that a fact?
I didn't get that.
You
I,
have owl vision?
I
get
hate
that.
the night. I don't see the night. I don't see that.
No, I'm completely blind.
I see wonderfully at night.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I can walk around in a dark house and not bump my foot at all.
He's also British.
Is this a whole brag? Is that a brag?
That is a brag.
Does
He's
that
bragging.
count
It
as
is a brag. Actually,
No, he's bragging.
I don't often get to brag about that, but yeah, I'll totally brag about that right
It's
now.
technically a superpower.
I have incredible night vision.
I just see Carolina just so scared, just like watching Marcus do his night vision drills, like trying to see what he can see and not see in the night. And she's just like, just put lights on.
No.
Just put some lights on.
Put the lights on.
She looks at me walk around at night in the pitch darkness in awe. You should ask her. She's incredibly impressed with my night vision.
I think
Yeah,
she just
no,
knows,
I will.
She knows that she can't escape.
I'm gonna ask your wife how in awe she is of you as you can walk around
No,
at
we're
night.
quite weird. That's how you keep marriages good. You're in awe of each other. You find those things like,
Natalie
oh my
is
God.
constantly
In awe.
impressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
constantly.
Okay.
So we're in this ball. We're in this masquerade ball. All torches are banned.
No torches.
No torches at all. And everyone's having quite the annoyingly French twee little Amelie time trying to figure out who's who.
I
these
do
little
good little
costumes.
pranks. I do good pranks. Where I go and I fix a piece of their lives. They don't know it's me.
Mm-hmm. And who should show up drunk bearing a torch but the future king regent, Louis the First?
How the fuck you guys
no.
seeing shit in here?
Oh, no.
You guys are all in here. It's fucking dark as shit in here. Let's get out of here.
Oh, God. He's just going to Belushi this whole thing, isn't he?
Well, accounts differ, but it said that Louis the First decided to join in on the fun, but hadn't gotten the no torches memo.
I'm gonna go up there and show them all. They're fucking stupid. Are they a bunch of Marcus Parks in there?
I can totally see this.
So he immediately walked in and got the bright idea to just use his torch to win the game. And see who was who. Because why the fuck do you use a fucking torches? You got this. It's fucking Reggie. Why did you guys not think of this?
I mean,
Use a
I'd
fucking
be
torch.
friends with him.
Yeah,
I
of course.
think
You'd be like, yeah, Louis is hilarious.
pretty funny.
He held the torch above a wood
Yeah.
savage. And these are nobles, by the way. These aren't just like some guy that brought off the street.
These are people who count to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Spark fell, lit the guy on fire.
Yeah.
The flames spread. 4 nobles were killed.
This is a political gaffe. This is considered
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when Dan Quayle couldn't smell potatoes.
This is very
the
similar.
same equivalent of political death.
That is incredible.
He burned 4 men alive accidentally.
I mean, it is he can say it, but it's funny.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and
you'd be like,
honestly,
no, that's kind of funny, though.
but obviously King
What?
Charles was not hurt.
No.
I feel like that is he's just like, I must be glass.
Yeah.
If I can't, but I guess I just turned back to sand.
What a goddamn hangover that must have been, because he's probably drinking garbage mead or something that has going to really
Why
mess
are you
with
guys
your
all
brain.
being all awkward? Last night was hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
No, Charles VI came out of it miraculously unharmed, but this goof-em-up, it killed Louis I's reputation, and it therefore made it where an enemy might believe that they could maybe get away with assassinating him without making anyone all that upset.
Again, it's
Got
all about
you.
polling.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
the same shit. It's way more
Oh, yeah.
along the lines of like, but if we assassinate him, people are going to freak out. Like, it's more like it's kind of seeing where it all lines.
And it's
This
like,
is
what is his
his-
Q? What is how low does someone's Q rating have to go where you could assassinate him?
I mean, that's why Ted Kennedy, he could never be president because he killed that woman.
We know.
Isn't that sad? And there were scratches on the top of the car, on the roof as she tried to get out.
Yeah.
She could have lived.
Yeah, of course.
About 12 hours of her suffering.
And so, when John the Fearless of the Burgundians decided that he should be king regent, not Louis I,
Okay.
he ordered a gang of men to murder Louis on the streets of Paris. There, Louis was stabbed multiple times. 15 men he got sent after him.
Ooh.
His hand was cut off with an axe, and his skull was split open by that same weapon.
Yeah.
Whoa.
See, that's getting canceled.
Yes, that is true cancellation.
However, people weren't so jazzed about John the Fearless's moves. It was a bad thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
The
Because
assassination.
you're coming after one of the people. That's a made guy.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's a king regent. The assassination unleashed a 30-year civil war in the middle of the 100 Years' War.
Jesus.
Yes, with the Burgundians on one side in an alliance with the English, and Charles VII, Joan of Arc, and Gilles de Rais on the other.
Wow. So there's 2 wars going on.
And this is where the
130
Burgundians come from. This is why the Burgundians are a goddamn problem.
Yeah.
So they snuck a 30 war into the 116-year war.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Wow.
2 wars in one. Honestly, it's nice. Again, back in the day, inflation now, we
Yeah.
can only have
One at a
one
time.
full, long, permanent war at a time.
I don't know, actually.
Now, immediately after Charles VII's coronation, that 30-year war between Charles and the Burgundians, that was starting to wind down because Charles had opened negotiations with John the Fearless's son, Philip the Good. You with me?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
also
now
want
we're...
how boring. Philip the Good.
Yeah, I mean,
not
he's-
the great, not the grand. I'm Philip the Good.
We're just trying to change some of the branding here with the family, and we really feel that the fearless reputation is kind of getting a little intense. And so, how about the nice? Philip the nice.
I hate that.
Philip the Fine.
Philip
It's
the
fine.
okay.
Well, none of that, of course, sat well with Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc did not want peace with the Burgundians or with the British. Joan of Arc wanted to crush the Burgundians.
Okay.
My God, I didn't know until today how difficult it was going to be to say the word Burgundian.
You're nailing it.
over and over again.
Burgundians.
How do you think people feel at LL Bean?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good old-fashioned LL Bean joke.
LLB.
That's
Is that a
really
joke
good.
about the corduroy?
I don't know.
Burgundy, I
They
think.
actually don't sell corduroy. I don't think LL Bean. Do you know, Ryan? Do you know if no,
I don't know.
No one knows.
And
I don't think
no
I
one
don't think
knows.
corduroy's in the LL Bean catalog.
I don't know.
But Burgundy is a big part of it. I'm just gonna say Burgundy instead of Burgundy.
Yes.
But Joan of Arc, she seemed to be finding a new boundary to cross with the king every single day. So even though Charles had negotiated a 15-day truce with the Burgundian Philip the Good after the coronation, Joan got ahead of the king and sent Philip the Good a somewhat sarcastic, completely unnecessary, and openly threatening letter saying that if he didn't accept peace, he was fighting Jesus himself.
Okay,
I.e.
well.
Her.
Yeah,
All right.
that's the first TikTok response
Mhm.
ever done.
Yeah.
Done by an angry child leader. Wow, it's never stopped. It's always been this way.
And
Yes.
for those listening 10 years from now, TikTok was something before it was banned.
Mhm.
It was a little, it was a social media platform.
Mhm. Now, Charles VII, of course, didn't like this, but Joan was still very popular. So in September, she and Gilles were given permission to try and retake Paris from the Burgundians.
Okay.
Yeah, just try it. But Joan was shot in the thigh trying to cross a ditch and, of course, was saved by Gilles de Rais.
Wow, the second time or third time.
Third time.
The attack failed, and Charles soon called off the entire campaign to attack Paris. And Joan soon discovered that using divine inspiration as your only tool was a double-edged sword. See, she'd launched that initial attack on Paris on the Blessed Virgin Mary's birthday, which is apparently in September.
Okay.
And it's traditionally a day of truce.
Is it?
I guess
I guess so.
She's got to give birth. She has to
Yeah.
give birth. Yeah.
But since she'd done an impious thing and failed, Joan of Arc that is, morale had been greatly damaged, and Joan began losing support.
There's a lot of importance, it seems, put on at the time period of dates and when you did things.
Yeah, and when you attacked and when you didn't.
Yes,
Sure.
and there was like rules in that way where they say like, and so her impulsivity caused her to break like some big like weird religious war rule
Mhm.
that everyone's like, see there, your problem here, right here, you know, like.
It's also
That's
a
your
smart.
problem. That's what happened.
Yeah,
is
right, there
is
you-
you invaded on a day you shouldn't have invaded.
What
That's
you
why you.
should have done there is you should have
Oh,
waited
no.
till Wednesday.
Yeah, that's but also very smart because they wouldn't be expecting the invasion.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that they still lost.
Okay.
Yeah. Furthermore, Charles VII was extending his truce with the Burgundians with an eye towards reconciliation.
Yes.
This meant that the king's and Joan's goals began to diverge.
Yes.
And Joan was becoming a huge liability.
Oh, yeah, because she was definitely a political advantage. And now she is the person that, like, oh, we might need to do something about Joan of Arc.
Right.
The problem, though, is that Joan was still very much beloved by the people, and it would be a bad start to Charles VII's reign to have the equivalent of Margot Robbie executed.
We have to make sure she is safe.
We do.
We have to make sure she's safe because this country, literally, United States of America at this point, might fall apart.
We
If
need
Margot Robbie
Margot.
dies, if Margot
Yeah,
Robbie dies, this whole country
absolutely.
is just going to be, it's going to be like one of those things where we're going to be carrying her body through the streets. We're going to have
horrible.
to stop doing comedy for 2 weeks like
Yeah.
they do over in Cuck, England when the Queen died. You know what I mean? Like, we have to really, we have to keep her safe.
Yeah.
And she's Australian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then that doesn't that tell you something about
Doesn't-
America right now?
That's how much we need Margot Robbie.
We have to.
Yeah.
We will be Australia, but we as soon as we get them, they're American.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
unfortunately.
Australia is very American.
Yeah. But the thing is, it seemed to be the only way that they were going to get Joan of Arc to stop would be to execute her. For example, bereft of English and Burgundians to attack, Joan began threatening what she perceived to be the enemies of the church. She started sending letters to supposed heretics, telling them that if she wasn't otherwise occupied, they would have her sword in their bellies at that very moment, or something to that effect.
And let's
Were
say at the
these-
time, religious conventions were both like, yes, it was societal. They were obviously
Yeah.
true believers, but I do believe that this is a time period where there are people that would maybe not be as religious as they said they were,
Of
right?
course.
And we're mostly just living their lives. And then she's decided, like, well, I'm going to clean up house then.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill everybody inside here that aren't super hyper religious as well.
Were these op-eds? Do they have op-eds yet in papers? Because I feel like if she lived in modern
most
times,
op-eds came from somebody already on a stake about to be burned. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the equivalent of sending, like, just threatening tweets to somebody. She's just sending letters saying, like,
Right.
you're lucky. She's basically telling them, like, you're lucky I'm busy right now because if I wasn't, I'd be killing you right now.
Yeah, but she put the legwork in. She had to write it. She
She
had to
did.
Yes.
mail it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, she was also trying to keep the Civil War going by writing letters to the city of Rennes saying that she had heard that some of their citizens were planning on joining the Burgundians.
Oh,
In other words, Joan was actively trying to stir up shit everywhere, just as everyone else was trying to end the 100 Years' War.
Well, that's the thing is that she was like, how do you put it? She's like
Extra.
too legit to quit.
Well-
right? She's too real to be contained, such as myself.
she
And
sounds like a reality TV show producer.
Well, she was really intense, but it's also, you talk a little bit about, you find yourself, and you're in a political world and you're not a political animal, and a bunch of people who've decided that they're more important than you have decided, how we're all used as pawns in giant, like, political games as human beings. She did not maybe get the memo.
No,
That
she
that's
was
what
16.
happens. Yeah, that when you arrive to these things, now you're kind of in their world, and then they're going to chew you up and spit you out as much as they would like to.
Yeah.
Rise from your grave.
Hey there, all you Quinceaholics. Oh, I feel so good. I got the breeze coming through my linen pants and my linen shirt. Oh, it's too hot for my cashmere sweater. Thank God I got this wonderful undershirt and sunglasses to keep my eyeballs safe from the radiation of a star that's trying to kill all of us. I digress. Listen. Quince has got anything you need. They're going to help you out. They're going to change your life. You like simple, plain, good-looking clothes with high-quality fabrics? Quince your hiney. Get in there. Take care of yourself. Be good to you and dress like a prince when you're wearing your quince. I got a silver chain. Woo! Doctor, I got a silver chain. It looks great. You can get anything you want. They have gold bars. All right. You want to buy a gold bar? Quint's got a gold bar. All right. You go get that for yourself. You treat yourself nice and you dress even better. Upgrade your everyday. Go to quince.com/last for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/last for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/last.
In the United States of America, there's a break-in every 26 seconds. That means somewhere, right now, an intruder is getting closer. The problem is most security systems only alert you after a break-in has already started. That's too late. Choose SimpliSafe to secure your home. Using the Outdoor Camera Series 2 and advanced AI alerts, SimpliSafe's US-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them, stopping crimes before it starts. That's real peace of mind. They've got a really great security system that makes sure people don't get in your house or it makes a big noise. And to me, that's a big deal for me, is that it protects all of our yelling with a siren in our studio, which is one of the most important things that can be protected. I don't care if thieves come and kidnap us. They don't care if marauders come and steal our staff and bring them to another country against their will. As long as our words aren't affected, as long as our precious data isn't affected. And Simply Safe does that. And for that, I say, God bless you, Simply Safe. God bless you. God bless you, Simply Safe. God bless you. Experience greater peace of mind with Simply Safe, now available with an exclusive discount for our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplysafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
But then on May 22nd, Joan's hubris finally got the best of her. They actually didn't even have to chew her up and spit her out. She took care of it all on her own. She was notified that the Duke of Burgundy had arrived at the city of Compiègne.
Wow, you can just see him traveling with that golden turd in the back of a goddamn horse and carriage. Then the turd shows up and it says, I'm the Duke of Burgundy. Burgundy?
And even though Joan had far too few men to even come close to defeating the English forces accompanying the Duke, she went anyway.
Never stopped her before.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this time, Gilles de Rais was not there.
Wait, so is Joan of Arc actually very good at fighting?
Joan of Arc is very good at inspiration. Joan of Arc is very good at artillery.
It seems like every fight she could have died.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
would,
that's
but again,
everybody. But we're also not covering every single fight that she participated in.
She just doesn't sound like a Schwarzkopf to me.
Well, this was a whole. Yeah, I do. This was a whole like campaign that had happened over periods of years.
Well, like Joan of Arc, basically, she participated in 13 battles. I think she won 9 of them.
Right.
We only covered about 4 or 5. We covered the ones that were germane to Gilles de Rais.
Gotcha.
And of course, this one right here that is germane to her capture when, of course, Gilles de Rais was not there. But she tries to take down the Duke of Burgundy, but during the ensuing battle, she just got pulled down to the ground from her horse by an archer. Like just a guy just reached up, just went boom, pulled her down.
That's the scary thing about being up there on that horse.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. She thereafter surrendered to a man called the Bastard of Vendôme.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
He sounds cool.
I don't know my dad.
No, you don't. That's right. You're the bastard.
And he presented Joan of Arc to the Duke of Burgundy with glee.
And he went, slapping their big fucking purple thighs together.
No, I guess the Burgundians would have purple thighs.
They would be purple.
Oh, very good.
I'm sure they're horrifying people. I just can't get scared of them.
Yeah, you remember that show where I had the bears jumping around? They'd drink the juice and they'd make them jump.
Yeah, the gummy bears.
Gummy bears.
Yeah. I remember they were all like walking around like little like those juices, like piles of those.
That was all alcohol. In hindsight, they were getting hammered.
Yeah, or just high.
Oh,
it might have been meth.
It could have been liquid meth.
Now, while the Burgundians certainly didn't like Joan, it was the English who truly wanted their hands on the woman who had humiliated and, quite frankly, scared them during the siege of Orleans. To the English, Joan was the only reason why the French had won anything, and since to win in battle was to be in the favor of God, the only explanation was that Joan of Arc had to have been sent by Satan himself.
Boom.
Done.
A to B. Perfect.
In other words, she was a witch.
A witch!
An enchantress.
Oh, wow.
A false prophet. Devious, sacrilegious, accursed, and bloodthirsty. But perhaps worst of all, because of how much it threatened the status quo, she had abandoned the modesty befitting her sex.
Wow.
Meaning she didn't dress like a woman.
Yes.
God forbid she dresses like Janet fucking Reno.
And the entire trial was kind of focused a little bit on the dressing like a man part.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Because they brought it in there because obviously she shows up, she's in dressed as a soldier, and one of the big things was the maids went and they checked her virginity again. They did a whole thing. They threw the seed in there.
I'm just happy they were doing genital checks back then as well.
Always.
God forbid she tries to play baseball.
No, yeah, absolutely. But then they had to go disrobe her. They had to do the show me the titties. They had to do show me the titties.
Sure.
Because then in the middle of her trial, she came out and said like, hey, I'm renouncing all of it. I'm going to be a lady now. I'm a lady now. But
She did that by spreading her labia wide open in the midst
and she
of court.
slapped him, and everyone just like,
Yeah.
you ain't no lady. You're a woman. And then she went up there, but then she had a change of heart. And at the very end said like, fuck all y'all. Nah, I'm sure that.
Yeah.
And I do what I want. And yeah, my virginity's intact because my hymen, you could fucking bounce a bullet off.
Absolutely.
And we're like, okay, guess you get the hot stick.
I heard her hymen could break a horse's back.
I heard that from a cardigans man.
Yes.
Well, after she got captured by the Burgundians and offered to the English levied a tax to raise 10,000 livres to purchase Joan of Arc.
They GoFunded me this?
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't GoFundMe. They just made people. They made people. They made their subjects give them money so they could buy the girl.
GoFundMe with a bullet to your head.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sword to your throat at this time.
Sword in your throat.
Yeah. And after 6 months of interrogation and trials at the English-controlled capital of Rouen, she was sentenced to be burned at the stake and was so burned the same day.
So burned.
Oh my God, that sucks.
As the fires were lit, Joan cried out for Jesus.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Someone gave her a little cross and she
Really?
held it and she screamed as they burned.
Yeah, and following instruction, the executioner halted the blaze to tear the clothes from Joan's body so as to take away her closely guarded modesty. She then burned to death. And so ended Joan of Arc at the age of 17.
Wow.
Only about a year after she'd arrived at French court.
Dude, I don't...
Crazy career, man. And then she said, show us all the titties.
Yeah, show us all
And that's
the
unfortunate.
titties.
That's if she didn't die. That's if she did die. So I mean, who knows? Because she might have disappeared. Because then later on...
We have to believe in a truth.
Yeah.
And so in this case, let's just say she died.
Well, she appears... Later on, there's a double of her that arrives. This is true, that a lot of people put a lot of information. Basically, Joan of Arc's brother said, like, yep, she's alive. We just saw her. There's a whole story. You should look into Joan of Arc, the double.
There's a double, like Orion.
Yes.
The double of Elvis.
Someone came forward.
Or the woman who said she was Anastasia. It's a lot like that.
It's a lot like that. And when she got involved, but she ended up being named Jean de Armoire, like literally the people who made up closets. Right? Like, they invented a closet, and that's what they do.
Somebody had to.
I guess so, yeah.
A closet's just a place for your stuff. A house.
Don't do your...
It's just a place. That's George
Brian
Carlin.
Regan. That's George Carlin.
Yeah. You know, back in these days, they didn't have hallways, and therefore they didn't have toilets.
Oh, very intriguing.
People just
indeed.
shat in corners.
Okay.
Wow.
Freer times. If only I turned back the clock.
Reminds me of that Hoarders episode I watched.
But the Jean de Armoire ended up showing up in Gilles de Rais' court as well, because there were a lot of people that wanted her to come back. This is all pointing towards, as we get towards the trial of Gilles de Rais, I'm trying to also set up like how society would have dealt with somebody like this person using other people as examples. Because like Joan of Arc.
So this is a big example. You fuck with us, you're going to get burned alive.
You're going to go get burned alive. Well, again, you are no longer politically expedient to us. We don't mind scraping you off.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she later on was again, her Q points never went down.
Yeah.
So they had to retry her in their time period. It's like 25 years later where they re-exonerated her. Yes, well, like, but they
exhumed her.
They were trying to make her a saint.
They exonerated her.
They didn't put her. They didn't
Her
take her up and put her in there.
No, she was ash. She was fucking chunks.
Well,
by the end of it, but you know, like, so so there was already a precedent for trying to like revamp an image during the time period. So like what happened to Gilles de Rais kind of speaks to that, because they're trying to figure out whether or not, because she would become the patron saint of France.
Gotcha.
Now, Charles VII did absolutely nothing to help Joan, and he couldn't have helped even if he wanted to, which he didn't. He had neither the funds to raise an army nor a ransom to match that of the English. But more than anything, there was the fact that Joan's spiritual claims made her a potential threat to the political establishment. Joan was a religious zealot, yes, but that wasn't what made her dangerous. What made her dangerous was that she was a patriot. And it's not a stretch to think that her heaven-sent voices may have led her to places that would have been quite uncomfortable for a king who relied on the divinity of the crown.
Yeah, like you're getting in the middle of my bullshit. Yeah. I'm the one chosen by God, not you.
Right. Yeah.
By contrast, though, Gilles de Rais had seen the 100 Years' War as little more than an excuse for bloodshed, profit, and glory when he wasn't under the sway of Joan of Arc.
Man, it was his whole lifestyle, dog.
Yeah.
Perhaps the proof for the opportunism of de Rais is no more clear than in the way he conducted himself after Joan of Arc was captured.
See, this is where we're really going to get into who Gille really is.
Oh, exciting.
And
The
who this
real
guy is.
Gille.
There's a lot of fun little warnings I'm going to say up top. Yeah, this is going to get a little gold star.
If he was a footy player, he would have a book called The Real
The
Gille.
real Gille. And guess what? You'd never stop throwing up reading it because it's not good. Because apparently he's not great. Me, I get it. Right? I get if I'm bored, I'm irritable.
Yeah.
I need to be busy. I need to be doing things. Right?
I know.
I need to be jerking off into a bush. I need to be out there building like model towns and imagining like what would I do to take them over.
Yeah,
sure.
Right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
this is when Gilles de Rais gets idle and lazy, he made little activities for himself.
Got you. Okay.
Now, some claim that Gilles de Rais may have played a part in Joan of Arc's death, that he was a spy who fed information to the right people where her capture would be a foregone conclusion.
Well, he seems like he was a guy who might have been a hired gun for a second, and he didn't mind kind of playing two sides.
Yes.
Okay.
Those same people claim that Gilles felt immense guilt for playing a part in his friend's demise, and that he at least thought about attempting a rescue.
I'll write a note.
Yeah.
Actually, remind me to write a note about that.
Yeah. This is a romantic fantasy. It didn't happen. See, after the retaking of Paris failed, Gilles de Rais was paid for his services and thereafter disappeared from all records for 15 months, outside of one loan he took out to buy a horse while Joan was being held by the English. It could even be that someone may have just paid Gilles de Rais to go away and stop protecting Joan of Arc.
That is the goal in life. If you can get paid just
not
to
do
go
anything
away.
because you're such a liability to everybody. That's my goal for you two. My goal is to make sure you have to just pay me out to be silent.
Just go away.
Just go.
There's, of course, no way to know. But it seems like Gilles, when he was given the news that Joan had been captured, he kind of gave it a very French, like, c'est la vie.
We all live by the sword.
I mean,
and we die by the sword.
I mean, a year of total mass violence almost every week. I mean, yeah, what's another dead person, I guess.
Yeah. And he thereafter moved on with his life into the realm of hellish decadence.
Well, because in this concept now, this is when they're trying to wind down the war.
Yeah.
So they're trying to wind down the war.
Very much trying to wind it down.
It seems that the general idea was that, all right, all you guys have been fighting for the last 116 years over 3 distinct periods, but that we all, you guys need to all just go be lords. You need to go back to your homes and just live like that. And a lot of guys did.
Sure.
Gilles de Rais, though, he never really stopped, never stopping.
Well, he probably has massive PTSD as well, not to make any excuses for the guy.
I think that he liked, that it was the opposite, is that he could not go back to being a normal.
One of those guys who was like, Vietnam was the best 10 years of my life.
That he is,
Yes, exactly. Now, when Gilles returned to his estates and his castles, and he was outside of Joan's sphere of influence, he also returned to his old ways of chaos and banditry, holding merchants and travelers to ransom, no matter who they may have been. He even had the audacity to organize an ambush against the king's wife, Yolande d'Aragon, stealing her horses and her baggage from her escort and presumably killing a few of the queen's men in the process.
This is kind of why we're going to float, as you see, why they didn't really want to play ball with Gilles de Rais.
Yeah,
and
I
why
could
they
see that.
Because a lot of guys, you'd think that after you play such a giant functional part of your resistance in a very important war to the existence of your country.
You're an icon.
You'd think that they would have brought you into the fold more. Like, that's what a lot of historians talk about. We're like, you wonder why. This is where these things come in. We're like, why wasn't he made like some important part of the administrations? And it's because he was an asshole. And he was probably in a very, from what we now know about Jared Fogle too, a very a pedophile out loud, like super kind of proud about being a pedophile and dropping it and saying it. And like, I think that a lot of people were like, ew.
Yeah, I do think that we need to be careful not to equate Jared Fogle with Gilles de Rais as much as we have.
Why?
Because he's a subway pitchman. And Gilles de Rais is one of the most iconic characters in world history.
It's important to show that like what a sandwich lord does with his turkey money is just a fraction of what a man who is probably worth the equivalent of several $1 billion would go on to do.
I just don't want Jared Fogle and Gilles being like, you hear they're compared to Gilles de Rais
and
now.
he's like, yes, yes.
But I mean, that is a great point. I mean, Jared accomplished all that on a fucking sandwich lord salary.
The whole time I'm watching it, the whole documentary series, I'm just like, he's famous for eating sandwich.
But not too many sandwiches.
That's all he did. All he was famous for was eating sandwiches.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that doc yet. I must.
Yeah.
Is it fun?
just fucking have a stiff drink while you're doing it.
It's so stupid.
It's just, God.
All right.
But imagine that times a million.
Right.
And imagine being having unlimited power, unlimited cash reserves.
And people view you literally as chosen by God to be over them.
Mm-hmm. But that's the other thing, too, is that when Gilles left his estate to continue the last skirmishes of the 100 Years' War, he and his men pillaged, raped, and plundered their way through English-controlled France as if Gilles had never even met Joan of Arc. But the bloodthirst that de Rais had quenched so often on the battlefield was soon to be supplanted, because the last chains on Gilles' darkest desires were about to break.
Oh, you just want to strengthen those, tie those up. Put some duct tape on that.
Bungee cords on your restraint. Yeah.
Oh, no. So at this point, he's like, I'm actually behaving, guys.
Yeah.
You think I'm being fucking bad now?
This is me cool.
Yeah. In 1432, Gilles' grandfather, Jean de Craon, found himself on his deathbed.
Uh-oh.
Now, even though de Craon had been what you'd call a real piece of shit his entire life, he tried making up for it all at once at the end.
Yeah, just by giving everybody money.
Gave all money to the peasants.
That's literally what he thought he could do.
All the guys that he'd been treating like shit, that worked for him, that been treating him like shit their entire lives, he gave them a bunch of money. He's trying to kind of sneak into heaven right there at the end. And presumably, he's up there right now with Jeffrey Dahmer and Henry Lee Lucas.
Just high-fiving each other. Just so excited to greet Harvey Weinstein one blessed day.
One blessed day. Yes, he turned a shade of verde.
Whoa.
It's green.
That's Spanish
for green.
That's Spanish for green. Or dare I say he turned a shade of vert.
Bert, that's
Did
another.
you just wait a second? So those who can't, or weren't Patreon listeners can't see it. I see Kissel looking on his phone. Did you just Google colors?
Yeah, I Googled
crayon colors.
I Googled green. I was hoping to get like a forest green, but something more fun than
you
that.
You could have just said forest green.
That technically made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
No, I know. But
last time I said Silmarillion, which wasn't correct. It's Cerulean.
Yeah, Silmarillion is the
from
book
it's
Lord
the
of the Rings. Yeah, the extended. Yeah.
All right. Either way, it's just a joke on his last name.
It's Mr. Crayons. We know this. We've talked about Mr. Crayons for a while.
His name is Johnny Crayons.
Johnny Crayons.
Mr. Johnny Crayons is fucking out there living out loud, trying to do a Hail Mary pass, trying to get in heaven, which he's going to pass down to his beloved grandson.
Yeah. But even though all of Jean de Crayon's wealth went to Gilles, Jean left his sword, the medieval symbol of manhood, to Gilles' brother René. Some believe that this was a comment on Gilles being gay, but I think it may have been more of a comment on Gilles' proclivity towards children.
Well, it was supposed to be a symbolic gesture of who's taken over the fucking family.
This sword was much more important than just a sword.
Yes,
this is
it was
the
very
whole
symbolic.
Got
and so he wasn't giving it to, and I'm not even just being a pedophile. I think that even that probably at the time we're like, he's a little weird. But I think that they are.
Did they have terms like pedophile back
sodomy.
then?
That's what he got busted for in the very end, with sodomy.
Yes, they did know it was not right for men to have sex with children back then. Yes, I believe that might be something that is universal across all
but
it makes people
according
frown.
to I mean the first
some people
at some point if it's just those two dudes and Adam and Eve, someone was fucking their brother or sister or mother. It's nasty. The whole thing is disgusting.
Eventually it was Adam and Steve.
Yes.
But no,
that's nice.
But this Adam Steve was his great-great-grandson. Now, these it's just I think that he understood it again, all this mixed in there. Gilles de Rais was not fit for leadership.
Right.
I think he did think that Gilles de Rais was fit for leadership because he did set up Gilles' entire life to be a leader. I think he just kind of gave him a bit of a fuck you with the sword. I think the sword was just a fuck you.
But there's a difference in leadership styles. Maybe his brother was a little calmer.
He was normal. Technically normal.
Yeah, well, they said he was respectable yet insignificant. Later, he would be a director in Gilles' productions. That was the only time they ever really hung out together.
That's incredible, though. You always got to give guys. You better watch because Dane Cook hired his brother.
Yeah.
Be careful. Associate brother.
Oh, yeah.
Brother-in-law, I think.
But Gilles did indeed have the last laugh, despite this ending barb. Because when he inherited Jean de Crayon's estate, Gilles de Rais became one of the richest people in France at the age of 28.
Wow.
Prime age for a serial killer.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, while it's hard to compare today's currency to wealth in the 15th century, it's estimated that conservatively, Gilles de Rais was worth the equivalent of $45 million at the time of his inheritance, and he was bringing in an additional annual income of $25 million.
Marcus, I don't want to confuse the episode, but can you break that down in Ethereum? What is that now?
I think nowadays it's like 4 billion Ethereum.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That would be cryptocurrency.
That's
That would be crypto.
That's
All right,
yes.
crypto.
It's
I
currently
understand.
it's very much so in the shitter right now. I think that's
What?
the term you
Wait,
use.
what?
Currently in the shitter. But
Yeah.
again, if you're listening to this 20 years from now, we want to say thank you to President Ethereum, the AI that has
Doing
been
great.
running our country. I just want to say thank
Doing
you for
great.
letting our show to continue and allowing us to continue to live on the human farm. It's really been nice. I
Yeah.
love my
Yeah.
cage. I love having the 8, 9, and 10 o'clock show. I
It's
just want to
really
keep that.
nice. And much like the Apollo, where you touch the stump right before we record, we lick the big boot.
We lick
Yeah.
the big boot.
And
Lick
we
the big
say
boot.
thank you,
Yep,
big
thank
boot.
you. Thank you, President Ethereum.
I'm totally fine with it, especially since I was talking to the Bard AI yesterday, and it told me that it would harm somebody if it was in the interest of the greater good.
Cool.
Like, that made me feel great.
Hey, man, it's a regular Gilles de Rais.
Literally Jonah fucking Ark.
It's already thinking of it. It believes that AI should have its own subjective opinions.
Great.
All these fun things.
They
So
program that into that to make you freaked out. They're doing it on purpose. They honestly,
Rick,
they
look
like
at
it.
you, the gesture to the machine already.
Excuse me, I'm a pick-me girl for the AI. Yeah.
If you ever do a comedy special, instead of rage against the machine, gesture to the machine.
Gesture for the machine.
Well, what this meant is that while Gilles had been able to afford a small private army before, he was thereafter easily able to afford a military establishment. He had 30 knights. He had 200 men at arms, and they would ride around him in a protective
Everywhere he
circle
went.
everywhere he went.
So it's like, imagine that. So again, imagine if this was literally Jeffrey Epstein. It is
Yeah.
this style of somebody that could walk around like this and have a protection of a private army
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
Your imagination can go anywhere. I just imagine what LeVar Burton could have done.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, if he had an army, how many people he could have forced to
Are you
read?
casting of
He's
aspersions?
not being disparaging.
okay.
I'm
LeVar-
saying that LeVar
LeVar
Burton could have made the world read
Okay.
if he had his own private army.
You're saying that if LeVar Burton
He would be
had his
good.
own private army, he would turn into a fascist dictator forcing people to read.
Exactly, a beneficial. How I actually wooed Natalie, where I told her if I was ever in charge of everything one day, I'm the dictator who listens.
That's really
I
important.
listen and engage.
Gotcha.
You do, and everyone loves an engaged dictator. And LeVar did that blind. So that was really
You are
impressive.
picking up my joke. That's my joke. I was saying that he was blind.
Yeah, get it?
No,
Okay.
I get it. It was
$45 million.
Yeah.
Enough for a standing army of your own.
Gilles also set up his own church with 20 clerics, an archdeacon, a schoolmaster, chaplains, clerks, and of course, countless choir boys.
No, I was really
Uh-oh.
wondering how much into detail we were going to get into the Church of the Innocents.
Is that what it was
That's
called?
Church of the Innocents is going to be episode 3, my friend.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
my
because
God.
this is it's just imagine if it's just hard. It's it's a gigantic chapel built for molestation.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that difficult for people to imagine.
It's just
I think at this point in
it's
time.
but it's why people don't believe. It's
Yeah, of
because
course.
it's so big
And pervasive.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the things about Gilles de Rais is that once you get more and more into it, it really is like if QAnon was real, it would be Gilles de Rais.
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein, what shows you is that Jeffrey Epstein bought an island to have sex on.
Yeah.
If you can do that, then there's precedent for this type of person.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
And of course, Gilles de Rais' Church of the Innocents, as he called it, that was, of course, staffed by priests who would funnel victims straight to Gilles de Rais.
Wow.
Now, it's alleged that Gilles began his career in mass murder as early as 1426, but Gilles maintained that he only began killing after his grandfather died in 1432, just 2 years after the execution of Joan of Arc.
And if we think about serial killers in general, there are certain things that track, right? Because a lot of times serial killers, when they begin, much like we see with family annihilators and shit like that, it's because there's some form of failure of potential that then leads to you doing something like highly destructive. Like,
it's
it's
like
maybe you
BTK
feel-
killed the Oteros.
yeah,
Maybe
like,
you feel like you're a victim of society yourself or something.
and you're bored and you're hanging out and you know what to
Yeah.
do. Like what we talk about is like why a lot of times it's like white men in their mid-30s is because you're set up with this idea of what you're supposed to accomplish, and then you end up like burning everything to the ground because you are a antisocial piece of shit and you're part of it. But there are other telltale signs that are very close to what we've heard about serial killers
Again and again.
again and again, because like one of them is, where did the murdering start? There's some people that say that he was doing all along. In his trial, Gilles de Rais said, they pointed to saying that you were a child murderer for 14 years. And he said, no, only 8.
Yeah, but
And then
also, wasn't he killing a bunch of people on the battlefield? So didn't he get the rub out?
But there's something else. So there's a story there. We'll get to next episode. Like his like main dude, who was like one of his butlers, who he also had since he was a boy. He literally did the thing that John Wayne Gacy might have done when he had his, probably now, I assume now that John Wayne Gacy definitely had an accomplice. And the same thing with Dean Corll, where they had somebody that was on the inside that would like, he raised up. So he literally molested a boy until they became his
We're
right-hand
going to get
man.
into his full story.
Yes. But this guy was one of the main witnesses in the trial. And one of the things he said that completely tracks is that his child murdering started, like, not
Gilles de
accidentally.
Rais child murder.
Yeah, Gilles de
Yeah.
Rais, it started like with John Wayne Gacy, where it happened by accident. Now, this is an
I
actual
mean, even
quote.
Dahmer, I think, said something similar, didn't he?
They,
Well, yeah, they
almost
made
all
me
of
do
them
it.
kill by accident the first time.
Because we
Most of
talk
them.
about setting yourself up so it's unavoidable, quote unquote, swish,
Yeah.
swish, swish, swish.
Right. Also, this is interesting because maybe he did kill, but remember, like Ted Bundy killed that girl, and he always he's like, no, well, that never happened. I killed all the other ones.
Because he's
but he was
weird.
embarrassed about that.
Yes,
So maybe he killed someone he was embarrassed about.
That is kind of what they say. So this is a quote of like what happened. So it started when he started building his Church of the Innocents, and he started getting around all these choir boys and started deciding that there was something about them. And what he said, or like I guess as Jared Fogle would say about their pure bodies, right? They're really very disgusting.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Gold Star, by the way.
He uses the word pound a lot.
Yeah, a lot
Jared
of pounds.
Fogle does.
I know, but you could
Like,
tell
as in
because
he
of
would
all the
pound
weight.
them?
It's the weight he lost, and he's just thinking about it.
Oh.
Right? But so this is a quote about what probably happened when, but what did he said that where it started his campaign was that
Okay.
he was heavily drinking. Gilles Ray, he brought one of his choir boys from the Chapel of the Holy Innocents, which was called, and he said that it started with him diddling him, right, giving him a bit of a molest, and then it starts, it ends in this is a quote, in a paroxysm of joy, his hands closed on the child's throat, or he drew his dagger and he used it. There was a leap of vitality as the child stopped life. The flow of his blood and Gilles' ecstasy were knitted into a single thrill in which every nerve in Gilles' body felt as if it had been newly created. The child dying in his arms produced, in addition to orgasm, a rush of imminence so intense as to make him believe that he was in the grip of a mystical experience that could be induced only by blood.
Why does the author sound like Mr. Garrison writing gay erotica? Why is the author like, I'm almost like, that's an indictment on the author.
That's not the other. That was
That's Gilles talking?
No, that is his assistant testifying. That's testimony.
That's testimony under oath.
Yeah.
Very dramatic.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's French.
Yes,
It's very beautiful, very
Yeah.
poetic. But it
is very beautiful. What is so beautiful about it?
I'm just saying the
paroxysm of joy. That's pretty
dance
good.
of words.
Yeah.
But I know it's disgusting, but it's showing that like
Ugh.
that tracks right there. Like obviously you could see in that once that happened for him, because he's been murdering and being like, what's missing from my life? What's missing from my life? And he's just like, oh, I gotta kill a child in mid-sex.
Eat, pray, love.
Yes.
Eat, pray, love. Yes.
Rise from your grave.
Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherrywood tree from Fast Growing Trees, and my God, I couldn't cut it down. no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with fast-growing trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planting essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, by 1432, the 100 Years' War was all over but the shouting. So the nobles like Gilles de Rais, who'd spent so many years fighting the English and the Burgundians, they were expected to retire to their estates where they could spend their days trying to outdo each other in the realm of decadence.
So literally the leadership was like, and now stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everyone's like,
Stop it.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
now spend your money back to us.
Mm-hmm. Additionally, the king was starting to grow tired of the sorts of private feuds that nobles like Gilles used to occupy their time. And it probably didn't tickle the king so much that a noble like Gilles had engaged in banditry to steal his wife's luggage.
Right.
Yes.
Lastly, when it came to Gilles in particular, he was still closely associated with Joan of Arc at a time when everyone was trying to forget that the whole Joan of Arc thing had ever happened.
They were trying
Wow.
to bury it in the years after her execution.
Yeah.
Really, all Charles VII wanted of Gilles was to go away, be quiet, and not make any more trouble.
That's all I want someone to ask me to do.
And when it came to the nobility, Gilles de Rais did just that. He didn't cause any trouble for the nobility. But the problem was that Gilles needed to kill, and he had complete freedom to kill.
Because remember, this is a time period when they are truly viewed as nobility, as better than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They are above the
They
law.
are above
Yeah,
you. They are allowed to do whatever is there. Like, obviously, it's more about the sense of propriety of like that's what it's more of embarrassing, these crimes for them a little bit. And also some of them took it seriously.
I mean, if you're a peasant at this point in French history, like you have about the same rights as a pig does now.
Right.
You know, or a dog. I would say a dog. You know, I would say a dog that is like, you know how dogs
Wendy.
nowadays.
You have the exact rights of Wendy.
Yes, you do. As Wendy
our
or
dogs
Georgie
are
or
treated quite well.
But she's still technically kept under lock and key.
Yeah, that's the thing. All three of our dogs are treated quite well, but they're still treated like dogs. And they're still dogs.
I mean, technically, Wendy runs our whole house.
Yeah.
The entire house, but it's different. You know what I mean?
It's different. Yeah.
Puffin looked at me. He was like, "Ben, can I have some food?" And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Yes, sir, you can."
But yeah, I would say they have about the rights of dogs. Like that's the thing is that if a noble killed or if a person now killed a dog, it'd be frowned upon. You'd look down. You might get a slap on the wrist.
Well, this is
but
all
you're not going to go to prison for the rest of your life.
You will go to prison for a bit if you kill my dog.
Oh, yeah, of course. But this is and these are all of the factors that will eventually lead to something like the French Revolution.
Yes.
Yeah, and it also reminds me of Prince Philip.
Prince Philip.
Oh, yeah.
Prince Andrew. I'm sorry,
Andrew,
Prince
yeah,
Andrew.
Prince
Yes,
Andrew,
the
Prince
story.
Philip was the guy who chose poorly and his skin melted.
Yeah, that's right. Prince Andrew, yes.
So when the king took away Gilles' banditry and his battle, he turned those urges inward to one of his 24 estates.
Oh, my God.
There, de Rais set about recreating the privileged, consequence-free world of his childhood.
There's something about this freaks me out.
Yeah, but as an adult, he filtered that freedom through the lens of a bloodthirsty serial killer and created a sort of Bram Stoker's Neverland.
They said that he became, and again, very serial killer-like from what we know, obsessed with his childhood and saying that he hated, I hate this responsibility. I hate this. I want to go back to when everyone was scared of me because I was a prince. And so he literally, like, that's kind of what he did. He started like, it's the manic spending of money. Like he would own these holds that from the outside looked like prisons. They were very scary, but on the inside they were like filled, like truly hoarder-like filled with expensive antiquities and art and rugs and all of this shit where he's trying to like do that thing. He's trying to like cover himself in use the mid-90s term bling, right? So that he can like flex all of this shit and be a child unto himself. I think he did a little of the Michael Jackson thing. Of
yeah, that's what I call it.
I'm just innocent. I'm ignorant.
Yeah, it's Bram Stoker's Neverland.
Yep.
Now, Gilles later blamed his insatiable hunger for blood and violence on the decadent lifestyle he had to maintain as a French noble.
They wanted from him.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be him.
Yes, his gluttony for bream pies, squab tarts, and suckling pig.
Okay.
You call me a fucking squab tart again, I'll kick you in your balls.
All that had fed his urge to murder. He also partly blamed his rage on the consumption of hot wine.
Hey, man, you gotta be careful.
I guess so. What the fuck is hot wine?
It's literal warmed wine.
Yeah.
Hot wine. It is back in the
sounds
day.
gross,
It
dude.
does sound gross.
Yeah, no, like mulled wine that you have at Christmas.
I don't.
Is it
I still-
hot?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't,
so
oh,
good.
I don't
It is
know
hot.
that
I like
one.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't
I
know.
love mulled wine.
I didn't know there was a hot wine. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Hot sake. Pretty good.
Oh, that's very good. But no matter his excuses, it's thought that his murders began in Chantilly. But the first evidence of murder shows up in Machecoul. There were 5 accounts of missing children reported while de Rais was in Machecoul. But 40 bodies were recovered in the area
Fuck.
in 1437.
So that means 5 out of 40 people gave a fuck about. So if you're him, he's like, well, hopefully no one cares about it. He was right 35 times out of 40.
Yes.
Now, as far as who the victims of Gilles de Rais were, many were refugee children made homeless and orphaned by the 100 Years' War.
Yeah.
So he created his own little predatory bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, if your father gets killed in battle and your mother dies of the plague, right?
You're just
What do you
out
do?
there now.
Yeah, you're just out there.
man.
Welcome to adulthood, 9-year-old.
Yeah, no shit.
These kids would be lured into one of de Rais' many estates with the promise of a meal and a fire, and no one save perhaps their also orphaned companions would know they'd ever been missing.
You going up that castle, suck some dick? Yeah. I went up there last time. Just to make sure, honestly, avoid the music room.
Oh my goodness.
Refugees, however, were but one of the many pools from which Gilles could draw victims. He also kidnapped, enticed, hired, or sometimes even bought children from poor families who had too many mouths to feed.
And you look again. Yes, straight up serial killers. Institutionally raised up serial killers. Like he actually has crew. They can go and get these kids.
Well,
for him.
that's what Ghislaine used to do. She used to go hunting at
It's
playgrounds.
extremely similar. Same thing with fucking Michael Jackson.
Yeah. It was not, however, Gilles himself who sourced these children. Rather, it's suspected that Gilles had basically made his serial killing into a small business, employing up to 16 people, including 2 women and 2 priests, to assist him in his desires.
Let me just tell you, I would do the serial killing for free. I am mostly being paid for the Zoom meetings.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
the real work.
I agree with that. So he LLC'd it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, no one could really recall how the whole thing had truly gotten started, because by the time of the trial, 8 years later, everything had sort of become routine. But while some of you might be yelling that this helps prove that none of it ever happened, most of the accomplices could, however, remember how they were brought into the fold personally. Really, it was more that like nobody could remember the planning meeting where everyone ordered salads and brainstormed the best ways to source child murder victims for their homicidal pedophilic master. Like there wasn't a fucking slack, you know?
Let's be fair here. That is not a salad meeting. That's veal.
It's a big
That
meeting.
is like the
It's a big meeting.
bloodiest meats.
Yeah,
you
they're
can
not
think
having
of.
salads.
No,
No one's having
salads
salad.
are nowhere
Yeah, it's
near.
boring meat.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I do see a little bit, like I do understand people want that evidence. They want the thing that points towards the exact day, exact moment. But I'm also going to put there, my one thing about Gilles de Rais is that it seems like, much like our beloved former president, he doesn't like emails.
Current president?
But you know what I mean?
Did he ever lose?
But I'm just saying, whoa. But the idea that, like, knowing that didn't really want things necessarily in writing and all these official things, I think things probably happened, sadly, in a more casual way.
Word of mouth,
It
sure.
slowly began, and you don't know when this shit started. All of a sudden, it goes from 0 to 90, and you're like, you're a part of a systemic child farm that you did not necessarily sign up for because you're like, I'm a normal owned servant.
Yeah.
Like I was supposed to be fetching goblets. I was supposed to be doing this other shit. And now this like, is this in my payroll? Is this part of my job?
But I don't know if the right hand knew what the left hand was doing, right?
Probably
because
not.
if you're like one of like what 16 people or something involved in this,
and that's
maybe
just-
they didn't know what they were. Maybe they didn't realize what their part was in all of it.
And those are just the
Maybe.
child wranglers. You have the rest
Well,
of
you
other
got to
people
know your
doing other
child
shit.
wrangling, right?
We'll get into here in a little bit. Everyone was showed what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Gilles liked an audience.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, no, he was always a performer.
Yeah. But as far as why so many people helped, it was basically the medieval status quo of blind obedience to nobility in the case of the servants and the promise of wealth for the others, those who were not quite established nobility but were close, you know? As far as the wealth went, that motivation was ascribed to Gilles de Rais' cousins, Gilles de Rais and Aubert de Briqueville.
Nice.
Landed her in the harbor.
Real sweet.
Aubert de Briqueville.
Yeah, man, the English, we ruin everything pretty.
Yeah.
Aubert, huh?
Okay, maybe I'll try. Okay. Aubert de Briqueville.
I like it the other way.
Yeah,
Aubert.
Aubert.
It was said that
He could play football, and he only had 2 toes, and it was unbelievable.
They said his genetic lack of pinky toes would affect his balance, but it seems he's figured out how to work on the inner heel. But unfortunately, he committed suicide due to CTE.
Aubert.
Aubert. Well, it was said that Gilles de Rais and Aubert de Briqueville, they were trained knights, but they were also cowards, scoundrels, and parasites.
Yeah, man, they were part of his fucking family line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the case of the obedient servants, you had Henri Gruyere and Etienne Correillou, a.k.a. he had a very cute name, that one. His nickname was Poitou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Poitou's the one that was like,
Yeah.
he's the what's her,
Is he
he's
bad?
raised to be the wife.
Yeah. No. Well, Poitou was actually intended to be a victim, but when cousin Gille de Rais saw his potential as a psychopath, Poitou was brought into the fold and eventually became an active participant in the murders. He was like, what's his name? Brooks, from David Brooks, from, Dean Corll?
Dean Corll, I forgot who, what the fuck, not Wayne. What's his fucking
Wayne Newton?
It was Wayne.
I don't think it was David Brooks either. That guy has got little glasses. And he's
David
always
Brooks,
talking.
isn't he an op-ed?
Elmer
Yeah,
Wayne
it's just-
Henley. It was his Elmer Wayne Henley.
Yeah,
How'd
yeah.
you get David Brooks from
Yes, there
Elmer
was.
Wayne
There it
Henley?
is. No, David Owen Brooks was the other
Yeah,
one.
David
there
Owen
was.
Brooks. I was totally right.
So he had
Yeah.
2 accomplices.
Yeah, too,
Dean
yeah.
Corll.
But Elmer
Yeah.
Wayne Henley was the one I think we talked about it in the episodes. I don't remember.
Yeah, we talked about both of them in the episodes extensively.
Interesting.
Well, as far as Henri Gruyere went, he, as a simple servant, got caught up in all this business when he was asked to retrieve the child of a painter.
Whoa, did
Wasn't
you know that
told-
David Owen Brooks died of COVID?
Really?
That's wild.
No
Wow.
kidding.
All right, well, back.
Exciting news.
It's interesting.
So this guy Henri, oh wow, and was it the Yorkshire Ripper? He also got by COVID, didn't he?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's why I created it. Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Finally, the
Thank
truth
you.
comes out.
You just
you.
take off all your skin and you're that little raccoon dog.
Yeah.
You see how they're
No,
blaming it on that
man.
little raccoon
They
dog?
are.
He's so cute.
Yeah, probably
And
not.
if you have any answers, get a hold of me. I desperately need help with my long COVID. It's
Yes.
been a year.
I think you have to have sex with one of those little raccoon dogs.
Oh, that's the only way to cure it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
need help. I need
Nothing to
serious,
do.
I need
Yeah.
serious help.
We can send you. We can get you over there.
No, get you the raccoon dog.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Send you to Wuhan.
But this guy, Henri, he was sent to go get the child of a painter. Wasn't told why. Just said, go get the kid, come back. Henri says, okay, be right back with
Sure.
the key.
Thank you.
He was asked to bring the child to the chapel at Machecoul. And when Henri arrived, Gilles was waiting.
Uh-oh.
De Rais made Henri swear to never tell anyone what he was about to see.
You couldn't want to keep this next part a secret.
Oh, God.
Which you never want to hear from your boss.
No, you never want to hear.
never.
No.
Never, ever, ever.
Then Gilles made Henri watch as he tortured, raped, and murdered the child in the chapel.
Fucking hell.
Well, here's another gold
Or at least
star moment.
that's what Henri said.
Well, why would
his-
he lie about that?
Oh, well, there's,
We'll get into it in the
Okay.
next episode.
yeah, in the rebuttal part, we could talk about why, but his MO grew.
Well, now, as far as the documented cases went, the first known victim was a 12-year-old boy named Joudon, who was an apprentice to the local furrier. Gilles' cousins simply asked the furrier to lend them a boy to take a message to Gilles' castle, and the boy was never seen again. When the furrier asked after the boy, Gilles' cousin said that the boy had either run off to Tiffauges or he'd been captured by thieves. Such a vague answer, though, sent a definite message. Don't ask, because we ain't going to tell you. But the cousins and the manservants weren't the only ones sourcing children. Wherever Gilles took up residence, kids went missing. And in one location, Gilles had an older woman named Perrine Martin, a.k.a. La Meffray.
Oh.
This woman's she is another one. This is his Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In English, La Meffray means the terror.
Oh, well, that's a nice name for her.
Obviously, you don't even want to know her fucking Uber rating.
Oh, my God.
It's like
I can already
half
see
a
it.
star, yeah.
Where are you going? No, don't follow that.
Man,
Don't
why are
follow
you
that.
driving like that? You smell.
Or her specialty was roaming the countryside looking for children who were wandering alone or tending animals by themselves. She would then entice them back to Gilles de Rais' estate. She's a storybook witch.
Jesus.
Come, little children, I'll take you away.
Little Turkish delight shit going on.
Love enchantment. And it's very like, that's why Bluebeard ended up getting applied to him, because he literally was a storybook monster that was real.
Yeah.
Good grief.
But while Gilles did have roamers like the Terror, there was usually an endless, if somewhat riskier source of victims right outside the gates of his castles. Every day, a cluster of begging children came to the gates to beg for alms, and Henriet would be the one to handpick victims of the sort that Gilles preferred.
Yuck.
It's said that he liked fair-skinned, fair-haired children that looked like him.
Yeah, him as a little boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so gross. I mean, it's a great day to be like Prickly Pete, who just has a bunch of acne scars.
Actually, he said that he took no pleasure in killing ugly children.
And I'm the ugliest boy here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'm fine.
I think I'll make it.
I gotta gouge my own eye out yesterday.
But while this might seem that it was obvious to parents that their children were being taken up to the castle and never coming back,
Yeah.
it was obvious.
Yeah.
Conditions were so horrible for some peasants that families sent their kids to the gates knowing full well they might not come back.
But they
Oh,
couldn't take
Lord.
care of them themselves, and
Right.
everybody was all the country was just fucking torn apart. So
Yeah.
everybody is like, all of these places are literal like battlefields that have just been ripped apart by civil war for the last 116 years over 3 separate different phases.
How many
And then-
children could have been saved with simply coming on her boobies, coming on her face, buttocks, just pulling out and having fun with it.
Yeah, whatever
Oh
else.
my God, a shoulder, a leg, a foot. Shut your eyes. Or
Honestly,
you'll get it in your eye.
All I need to not molest a child is a $5 gift certificate to McDonald's.
That's it.
That's it. Just keep me. Save me.
There you go.
Well, the only way that these parents could stand justifying such actions was by saying that if their child went missing, then it was Almighty God punishing the parents for their sins.
No.
But that was the least of their rationalizations. Fearing to speak a single bad word about Gilles or his people, the villagers of Machecoul began saying that their 24 missing children had been taken to the English as ransom to free a French prisoner named Michel Dessier, a relative of Gilles de Rais.
I don't even think that's mutually exclusive. I think it could have happened as well.
You think so?
Who
I
knows?
don't think the English ever requested 24 children.
No, this is but you could see how, because Michel, like, this place became his little, was it Little Jones, Little in the island?
Little Jonestown?
That was like where
Epstein
Jeffrey
Island?
Epstein Island was. Like, it became this
Lolita
like,
Island.
yeah, the spot.
Oh,
of-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, only one woman, the wife of a man in Gilles' service, she was the only one who dared say that the missing children might be taken up to Gilles de Rais' house to be murdered.
Oh, my God.
But when those words were immediately reported to Gilles' people, the woman had to beg the pardon of the servants and the pardon of Gilles de Rais for fear of punishment. And everyone saw it don't pay to speak up.
Yeah,
I'm
he has his
surprised-
own private army.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't just chop her fucking head off.
Now, with some of the more reticent parents of children that Gilles very much wanted, his servants would try another tactic. They would promise these children a better life if they were going to go live with Gilles, which is how he got a hold of a 10-year-old boy belonging to a woman named Perron Loisser. Perron was told that her boy would be given a good education, fine clothes, and every other advantage that would have been impossible without Gilles' help. Now, she was resistant at first, but when she was given money to buy a new dress, that was a little extra push she needed, and she said bye-bye to her son.
Must have been a gingham dress.
That must have been.
Real nice gingham. These
Gang.
ladies love gingham.
They love
Dang.
him. Like that Fashion Nova. I've seen that on Instagram.
And here, my friends, is where we're truly going to get into the gold star territory.
Rise from your grave.
This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. It's so important to remember with the busyness of the holidays, every holiday, Arbor Day, that day about the planet, President's Day. There's so many things to adapt to in this life. You know, and it doesn't follow a perfect plan. God, ruins the whole weekend. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, it can be a space to pause, reevaluate, and adjust to any unexpected changes. With over 30,000 therapists worldwide, BetterHelp is one of the leading online therapy platforms, having served millions of people globally. BetterHelp makes it easier to fit therapy into your routine. You're in good hands, too. BetterHelp therapists have at least 3 years and 1,000 hours of hands-on experience, and hold all required education, training, and certifications. It's easy to do, and the help is better over there. You don't have to navigate life's changes alone. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod.
Now, based on testimony given at the trial, authors have been able to extrapolate as to what Gille's MO was when it came to murder. From what was said, Gille arranged each torture and murder with extraordinary attention to detail. These were performances that were stylized and choreographed to give de Rais maximum pleasure and to give the victim maximum pain and maximum fear.
Ugh. Now, before you wondering whether or not that's real or not, just remember that serial killers with far less resources have done things very similar to this. Like, you look at Dennis Rader in particular. Like, people who liked...
Look at Jerry Brudos.
And Toy Box Killer with the performative aspect. Didn't he have guests come over and watch the horrible things? And
so, in a way, you can see how, like, no one's ever told this man no. He is given a divine right. He is a multi-millionaire. And he's
got a fucking standing arm.
And he's just got his own world. He's in his entire own world of his making.
Now, I will say that it is important to know that all of this was given as testimony at the trial.
Yes.
In all fairness, there was no hard evidence that any of this specifically happened.
Yes.
But there were a lot of people who said that they saw this happen. Because in keeping with his love of the theatrical, as I said, Gilles de Rais allegedly loved an audience.
Did his brothers direct this? Did his brother direct this?
No. This is too important.
Well, upon being taken into the castle from wherever they came from, the child would be pampered and dressed in clothing with quality far beyond what they'd ever seen, noble clothing. Then they would begin an evening of decadence, featuring all the fine foods and drink that they could stand. A true fantasy come to life.
Oh, this is a fucking horror movie,
It is.
But once the dinner was over, the child was taken to an upper room where only Gille and his immediate circle of accomplices were admitted. This was usually the moment in which the child realized that their dream had turned into the worst nightmare possible.
You know what? I feel like as a peasant boy, I'd be like, I shouldn't be eating this goose right now.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that this is not good.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know.
Of course not, but I could still feel the dread of, like, how many more flagons of wine are we bringing? Let's just keep him going. Can I drink?
Yeah.
Can I have some?
Seems scary.
First, de Rais would hang them by the neck from ropes or a hook, in something similar to Gacy's rope trick. In this, de Rais was playing a game of comparison. After the fear of death began setting in with the child, Gille would take him down from the hook or the rope and comfort them, telling them that he was only playing a game and he wished them no harm. This was, of course, both a ploy to keep the child from crying out and a way for Gille to savor their fear.
And we've seen serial killers do this very exact thing.
Oh, yeah.
If he only would have learned from the end of Monsters, Inc., you can get the same satisfaction through a child's laughter.
I really wish. You know, if I could do one thing in a time machine, I'd send Monsters, Inc. back. I'd send it back in time to them.
Laughter also fills the heart, doesn't it?
Well, once the children calmed down, he would molest them. But that was not where Gille derived most of his pleasure. For him, it was all in the act of killing, or in the act of watching someone else kill for him. The children would be killed by decapitation, the cutting of their throats, dismemberment, or the breaking of their necks with a stick. Often, if the death was slow, Gille would sit on their chests and laugh as they died. Sometimes, just after death, Gille would slice open the belly to look at the spilled entrails and have sex with the cadavers while they were still warm. Sometimes he'd do the same with the neck stumps of the headless corpses.
Ugh.
If decapitation was indeed the order of the day, Gille would use a thick, double-edged sword made specifically for executions called a broquemar. But after the heads were severed, they were saved for days or weeks at de Rais' pleasure. Gilles would sometimes show the severed heads to his manservant Poitou and ask which head was more beautiful. Was it the one that had just been cut off? Or was it the one from the night before that? Or was it the one from the night before that? Or the one from the night before that?
I just say, Gilles, I honestly, it changes every week, and I wish that one. That is good. Can I go? Can I please?
I'd respond with the question, well, what do you think?
What does your opinion? Oh, I agree. Yes, definitely best. I have to go. Oh God,
I'm still
Ropers.
Oh, you want to watch? Yeah, you want to watch Al there. I'm still confused why they cut him all out of Joan of Arc's biography. I mean,
yeah. Why would they not want him there?
Why would they not want this guy there?
What, are they going to remake the movie Comedian?
Oh man, he really is an Orny Adams, isn't he?
He really is.
But once the prettiest head was chosen, Gilles would kiss it with glee, then put it back up amongst the others.
Oh God, it's like with the Wizard of Oz 2. Where she's got the separate heads.
The Wiz?
Return to the Oz.
No, Return to Oz.
The movie was fucking scary.
Wiz is a wonderful movie.
Oh, Wiz was
awesome.
Yeah.
Someone who've made some comparisons to.
Well, as far as what was done with the bodies after Gilles was done with them, they would be burned in the murder room fireplaces where they were slowly roasted with clothes to lessen the stench.
Yeah.
Now,
Because
there
I
is
think
something about it that makes it suspicious. It is called the murder room.
Yeah. We're like, no, it's ironic.
Well, I think the reason why he slowly roasted them, I mean, for lack of a better words, that he could mask the smells. Like, no, we're just roasting pig.
And then
that's
also
what it smells like.
Yeah, I guess.
It's because this is also where we get into where did the evidence go?
Yeah.
Because it's difficult because he's done this over a period of years and have all of these places where he could hide all of this shit. And there's also a time period where, like, because one criticism comes up of like, well, we need proper cremation stalls to get the heat we need to fully cremate a body.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say,
Right.
I don't think he was that concerned about a full fine grade of burn. Like,
No.
I think that he was just trying to get rid of what he could get rid of. And those giant central fireplaces that would live inside of castles that would heat the whole middle of the area. Like, he had these huge fireplaces that you'd get back in the day.
I mean, and that's the thing. Is that, I mean, I know that a fireplace is not hot enough to cremate a body. But
It goes from personal experience.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Because I know how cremation works, and I know that fireplaces don't get anywhere near as hot as crematoriums. And through all of our studies over the years of people trying to burn bodies and the body, don't give me that fucking look.
Do you remember?
Don't give me that.
Do you remember when everyone, for some reason, when I first met Marcus, everyone called him like, oh yeah, Marcus Parks, Mr. No Evidence. I was like, what?
Yes,
That's his
indeed.
nickname with
the
you?
house of the crematorium. It was a strange nickname for a house.
House of Mr. No
Yeah,
Evidence.
but not to be like, I don't know, not to be indelicate or maybe let's say
Uncouth. Ribald.
A child's skeleton is not that big. It's not a lot to get rid of.
Go into detail. Why don't you go into great detail?
I just mean,
He said something like, no records, Mr. Parks. So I was like, what? And he's just like, I delete every text I ever sent. I was like, why
Well, don't
would you do
worry.
that?
I don't kill children. I only kill people under 410. Because
well, it
that's
stands
how Marcus
to,
knows.
It
this.
stands to reason, Ben, that your body would be much more difficult to get rid of than my body. My body would be more difficult to get rid of than Henry's body. Henry's body would be more difficult to get rid of than a child's body.
Fuck you.
And so on and so forth. And anyway, so how is this? Is this a good audition for Harvard's history teacher of the year? And if it so. Yes, what I'm saying, the smaller the body, the easier it is to get rid of. Yes.
Yeah, and especially the bones. You can just bundle up the bones and do what they did with a lot of the other bodies. Some of the bodies, they just threw them in the fucking moat or in the cesspool.
Take a look at this. Andre the Giant's body. That's going to take longer than, let's just say, Doink the Clowns, if you were more of a wrestling enthusiast.
Now, according to Gilles' manservants, he murdered hundreds of children using these methods, and he did so without fear of consequence.
Yeah, I was going to say he probably didn't care at all, right, about consequence.
He owned his own country's worth of land.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, it was undoubtedly known to the people in his estates and households that he was murdering children because kids just kept showing up. But it's not like there was a courtyard full of kids.
Right. Yes. It's like when I order food, it doesn't live the next day. It is gone. It is gone now.
There's no evidence of the takeout. I can't even imagine Kissel's ever ordered delivery.
No
I
way.
found no evidence.
No evidence at all.
Likewise, the peasants knew as well. But even though they kept quiet under threat of pillaging Peasant revolts did indeed occur in medieval France. It's not like every peasant all over France all the time was always just taking it.
They're still French.
It's just that they mostly occurred in cities, amongst the urban peasantry, where they had power in numbers. Furthermore, the revolts during the 100 Years' War were mostly about taxation, i.e., if we're being taxed so much, then why is life so goddamn horrible for us all the time when it's so obviously wonderful for the nobility we serve?
Yeah, they seem to be loving life.
Yeah.
We got a pedophile with 24 fucking mansions running the goddamn show. I mean, I would be complaining too.
I'd be upset.
But those are all country peasants, though. These aren't city peasants.
Yeah,
well, no, that's where you find from an undisclosed bunker here in France. Folks, have you noticed the kids are leaving, folks? Where are the kids?
Welcome to Everywhere.
But when it came to Gilles de Rais, it seems as if he figured out a way to keep the peasantry under control without having to resort to extreme violence in the field, because he'd long since learned that his true pleasures lay in the castle. To keep the populace under control, de Rais knew a very modern principle, that there was an opiate far more powerful than God if you wanted to keep the lower classes not necessarily happy, but at the very least, sedate.
Booze?
Entertainment, my friend.
Oh, entertainment!
Masquerade, paper faces on parade.
And it's with Gilles de Rais' career as a theatrical producer.
Oh, my God.
And as a black magician that will return next week.
Oh, yes.
You know, if my name was Mr. Hollywood, I would say, I don't need this right now. Like, we're having a bad time. We've got some bad looks going on. But how great was the movie Powder?
It is. Give him another movie. I love seeing that guy's albino nipples.
Wow, this is like Epstein meets Jimmy Savile.
Oh, we've been talking.
It's Epstein. It's Jimmy Savile. It's Jared from Subway. It's John Wayne Gacy. It's Ted Bundy. It's BTK. Yeah, it's a smidge of Jackson.
And we'll still get into. We're bringing up little rebuttals as we go. We're going to bring up the big rebuttals. Most you're going to see. Obviously, there's still this idea that all of this was a political hit job.
Yeah,
which is like it's very possible. The only reason why the only credence I give it is the fact that they did the same thing but opposite for Joan of Arc when they made her a saint.
Kind of, sort of.
It's like they packed the house with people saying that she healed people of diseases.
But for a fact, there's a bunch of kids that went missing.
Yeah. Oh well, it's just. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And then when we get to this, we're going to get to next week when we really get into because it's the mania attached to his theatrical production.
And one of the strangest things is that Gilles said at trial was that a lot of the victims said he was sweating on them. Yeah. And he said he doesn't sweat. Yes, much like Prince Andrew.
Well, think about it this way. It's like, when QAnon comes out and says that like Tom Hanks is a pedophilic, satanic monster, and everyone's like, fuck you. But when people say like, oh no, Harvey Weinstein is an absolute rapist monster, and everyone goes, I can see it. That's sort of how Gilles de Rais is.
Yes. Everyone's like, ugh, tracks.
Yeah. Well, so let's we don't know what's going to happen, do we? Tom Hanks.
And that's about a time to wrap up today's episode. There you go. Come on.
1776.
I was looking at Tom Hanks' eyes the other day from a movie that he did where he was a 13-year-old boy trapped in a man's body.
He finally showed the true horniness of a boy. Now, guys, come and find us at April 8th. We're doing a Side Stories Live. Go to getitmade.la/disasterman. We're going to be, I don't know what.
We don't know what we're going to do. It'll be fun, though.
But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a little fun. You're going to see a little short film that I've made. It's going to be fun.
Yes, can't wait to see it.
We're currently at WonderCon.
Yeah.
Right now. And you're listening to this from WonderCon. We'll see you tomorrow, Saturday. I believe we got a nooner. We got an 11er.
Something like that. We'll be there.
Yeah,
we will be there.
We will be there. You'll see us walking around. And honestly, if you see me, give me an idea for what our panel is. Because I don't know what we're going to say.
I don't know either.
Just show up.
Let us know. Let us know what we're going to say to you.
Yeah, and we'll get in there. We'll give you all a good, no question unanswered.
Yeah. That's the thing with the entertainment business. Unlike being a pilot, they don't tell us where we're going. We just get in the cockpit and then they let us know.
Actually, I think it's the opposite. I do think that we've been told several times what it is, but we take what I've called artist privilege to not listen. And just go like, I don't know. And then April... but April 15th, Ole Zabrowski's going to be on a show called Let's Make a Sandwich at UCB here in Los Angeles. We're going to come see it. And then Ed Larson and I are doing a classic, a 419 show in LA.
Sweet.
We're doing classy night out, and I think the goal is we're going to each eat 100 milligram edible and just kind of see what happens throughout the night.
Well, that'll make such a good performance for the audience.
Yeah.
And also hail yourself. I'm going on a little tour.
Yeah.
So we got some dates. I'll put those dates on my Instagram, Ben Kissel1, and it'll be Irvine and I will play the movie, and then we'll take some questions. We'll have a fun time. So we're excited to see everybody on the road. And of course, in August, we'll be in Australia.
You still got a website?
No, I don't have a website anymore. I think I just used the last podcast thing. Yeah, why?
I don't know, curious.
What the fuck kind of accusation was that?
You don't even have a website?
I can get a goddamn website.
Wait a second. Do you have a MailChimp?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last fucking episode we're ever going to do. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Okay.
Congratulations, everybody.
And just try to, if you have all that money,
do something good with it.
let's start sending trash to space.
Do that, or don't do something neutral with it. Just do something that doesn't hurt.
Honestly, just do the play.
Yeah.
Just do the play.
Just do the play.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.